What is going on, Pats Nation? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global. As always, we got Rob, Patriots7 on Instagram. You guys see the handle right there, man. We are here for the annual Patriots Global NFL Draft Watch Party here for round one, man. Rob, this is like my favorite time. This is easily one of my favorite times of the year. We all come together and we just have a good time. We're going to be reacting to each and every single pick here together, me and Rob, the Patreon members, all of you in the comment section. We're going to be reacting to what the New England Patriots do, but we're also going to be reacting to every single pick. Now, Rob, last year, the New England Patriots, they tried to trade back into the first round after they picked Drake May to select an offensive tackle and even a wide receiver. They tried multiple times to get back into the first round, and it didn't happen. But we know they got aggressive. They had the draft capital, and this year, we know they have the exact same thing. So maybe we even see the Patriots make more than one selection. Now, guys, we are going to pull up PFF Mock Draft Simulator, and any trades, every single real selection that happens, we are going to have it charted so that you guys can follow along, man. Rob, how you feeling?
Whew. Man, it's been too long, people. I've missed y'all. I've been trying to get on with Colby, but the schedules haven't really lined up. Daddy Rob, exactly. I got a lot of things going on at home, got a lot of things going on in the personal life, but I am so happy to be back. Sound like The Rock from WWE, but I'm so happy to be back. That's John Cena, but anyway,
oh, man,
I'm so happy to be back, to be able to deliver the content so we can deliver the content that y'all deserve, the unfiltered, exclusive content we could possibly give you and give our opinions on what this draft can be. Miss y'all, love y'all, appreciate y'all.
As always, guys, make sure you follow Rob on Instagram, too. Let's get him to 30,000, guys. Let's get Rob to 30,000 on Instagram. You guys see Rob, and then you see his handle on Instagram right after there. He is out here giving you the best Patriots content on Instagram, all over social media, on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow him, give him some love, because he's giving you exclusive videos all year long involving our New England Patriots, rumors, his ideas, his thoughts. But me and Rob got some stuff cooking behind the scenes, too, about some shows for you guys coming in the future. But we'll let you know more about that when things are settled. But more Rob, more Colby, more Patriots-related content. You guys love this duo, so we're giving you guys more content. I know the Patreon members, they're wondering, hey, when can we come in? You guys will be coming in very, very shortly. There are a few things, some housekeeping rules that me and Rob kind of want to settle here before we let on the Patreon members and things start to really get crazy, because we're hearing a couple of rumors, right? One of those rumors, Rob, is I want to start with something where we're hearing today, and that is that the Cleveland Browns are supposedly shopping the second overall pick. Now, I've heard the Patriots floated around in these rumors. I don't know how much real report there is behind that. I've been someone who doesn't want them to trade up. I don't think they need to trade up. I'm fine with them staying at 4. If they want to trade down a little bit, okay. But I don't like the idea of them trading up 1 or 2 spots. It just, to me, it really doesn't make a lot of sense with the second, third overall, not overall, but second or third round pick that they would have to give up. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns shopping this pick? And would you want the Patriots to trade up?
So, first of all, Cleveland shopping this pick, it doesn't come as no surprise that this is still BS season, people. All smoke. It could be just all smoke. And why not give it to one of the most respected reporters in Ian Rappaport? Keep pushing the narrative that we're so interested. And then the bargaining price gets higher and higher and higher and higher. And people want to get a Travis Hunter, because what is the crown jewels of this draft? You got Travis Hunter, you got Abdul Carter, and after that, it kind of precipitates. It falls off a cliff. Ashton Jeanty, he is a great prospect, but running backs, I mean, it's not a hot commodity, especially when running backs can be replaced. I'm not saying that Ashton Jeanty is not special, but the crown jewels of this draft are Travis Hunter. It is Abdul Carter. Now, as far as us trading up, I think there's too many holes on this roster. I mean, the running back position needs to be replaced. It's a very deep position at running back this year. The tight end position on our team, I mean, we only have really Hunter Henry. Austin Hooper's on a 1-year deal. Left tackle, left guard, we don't know if that's been addressed. Left guard, is it City So? Is it Cole Strange? Is it, I'm blanking on the other guy.
Aiden Robinson.
Layden Robinson. The center. I mean, we don't, Garrett Bradbury, we don't know if that's going to be the long-term solution. So we have too many holes. So trading up and giving up valuable assets just doesn't make any sense to me. I think unless they would take like a fourth, but even then, I don't see that as something that would, you're not going to want to come off of Travis Hunter for a fourth overall pick and a fourth. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Real quick, too, I want to make sure we get into these super chats. We got Patriots 92 that comes in here, says, what's up, Colby? What's up, Rob? Shout out Patriots 92 for coming in and joining the watch party. Guys, I know a lot of people are live, especially on day one, so I really appreciate the 200 of you that are kicking it with us right now here for this watch party. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow me. Make sure to follow Rob. And, of course, share this with friends. Let's get everybody in here to break down round one of the NFL draft. We do have the Tennessee Titans on the clock. They got about 6 minutes left. We all know they're going Cam Ward, but everybody's saying the reason, like, why does it take them so long? You know who you're selecting. The reason it takes so long is because they actually have to take a certain amount of time, right? Because they paid for a certain amount of spot on TV. There's commercials, there's ads, there's all these things that they have to abide by. So even if they know their pick, they actually have to wait a certain amount of time before they announce it. So that's why it takes a little bit of time, especially on day one. Shout out to my boy, Mick Goat. He says, glad to be back for another draft party. Go Pats, baby, man. We've been doing this since, I want to say, 2020. I believe was the first year we did this, man. So we've been doing this 4 or 5 years now. You guys love it. I love being here, man. The community really comes together. So I appreciate you guys. We're going to be pulling up comments throughout the show. So make sure you guys, do that. Make sure you guys send some super chats if you want to make sure that your question, comment, concern gets thrown up there on the screen. And of course, consider becoming a member of the channel. When you do, you get exclusive emojis that you can use. You got Patriots Global emojis. You got a Drake May. You got a Mike Vrabel emojis. We're going to be adding more. You get the Patriots Global logo next to your name every single time you comment in the live chat, shorts, community posts, regular videos, only $4 a month, and it really helps support the channel. But Rob, another storyline that I want to get into here is there's a lot of hype. There is a lot of hype. There is a lot of traction about Will Campbell going to the Patriots, 4th overall. I said I feel 95% sure that is where they're going to go. Now, there's still a chance they don't. This is the draft, right? I don't think the Patriots 100% know where they're going to go. Just said you got to see how the board falls. By the way, Tennessee Titans pick is in. We all know it's Cam Ward, but we'll announce it when it's official. But how do you feel about these rumors about Will Campbell?
Look, at 4, I don't like it. I really don't. I think he probably could be a left tackle at the next level. I don't love his tape. I like his tape. I would prefer to trade down a little bit if you're going to go and get him. This pick scares me. And every preceding tackle after that, he scares me because you look at Armand Menbu. He plays right tackle. Can he transition to left tackle? But let's keep at Will Campbell. With Will Campbell, his arm length, yes, it's at the threshold of 33 inches. I get that. But what people, and I think that you did a video on this, and I think you alluded this. My biggest concern is at his measurables, there hasn't been a Pro Bowl player. There hasn't been a All-Pro. And here's my thing.
Whoa. Hold up. It looks like we have a trade. So this isn't the Patriots, but I'm getting the mock draft simulator pulled up. Cam Ward is the official pick. That is the official pick. They already put it in. But there is a trade. The Cleveland Browns are no longer at 2. And we have to see the trade details when they come in. But it looks like the Cleveland Browns have traded with the Jacksonville Jags. The Jags are now at number 2. And the Browns are now at number 5. So it looks like we have a trade, Rob.
Oh, wow. That can go multiple ways. That can go Ashton Genty. That could go Travis Hunter. You could pair him up with Brian Thomas Jr. But am I going to continue going on my rant about that?
Yeah, keep the rant going.
Crazy.
Keep the rant going.
That's crazy. But when it comes to Will, yeah, I did not see that. When it comes to Will Campbell, in your video, I think you didn't bring up this one fact, and that he hasn't been an All-Pro, hasn't been a Pro Bowl with his measurables. When you look at, you brought up Rashawn Slater, and people will bring up Penny Sewell. The one thing that wasn't brought up is the wingspan. And when you look at the wingspan for a Rashawn Slater. When you look at the wingspan for a Penny Sewell, they're at 80, 81/8, 80 and 7/8 inches. Campbell measured at 77 and 3/8 inches. That's concerning to me. And at 4, I just cannot get around it. Now, people will be like, well, I had a comment on my page. Well, wingspan, it doesn't really mean much. Actually means a ton. And this is my definition that I wrote down. How is wingspan applicable? It's a larger wingspan gives superior reach and control, making it easier to engage and interrupt the movement of a pass rusher. It also assists in maintaining leverage and redirecting force. I'm concerned. Yes, he could play left guard and probably be a left guard for the next 10 to 15 years. But are we drafting a guard at 4? That's concerning to me. That's where I kind of have my reservations, Colby.
Yeah, I definitely get it. By the way, shout out to my boy Clemson Carson. Man, Clemson was like one of my first subscribers ever. Bro, I feel like I used to see you on the videos all the time. I feel like I haven't seen you in like ages, man. Shout out to Clemson Carson. This is what the draft watch party is all about, Rob. We get people coming in that we haven't seen in a long time. Like this is why I love this time of year. But the way that I see it is Will Campbell is the best offensive lineman in this draft. And would he have gone up against who is the tackle taken last year? Name's escaping me right now. Name's escaping me. He went to the Chargers.
Why the hell is it?
I think the name's escaping all of us right now. I had somebody comment this earlier. I know someone's going to say it in the chat.
What round?
Round 1.
No,
he was like one of the first. I think he was the first tackle taken off. He went to the Chargers. Joe Alt, thank you. See, this is why I know if I wait a little bit, people in the chat will help me out here. By the way, we have the trade details. The Jags got 2nd overall, a 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick. The Browns got the 5th overall pick, a 2nd round pick, a 4th round pick, and a 2020
what did I say?
1st round pick.
That would have been. I would have done that in a second.
That's what the Browns got.
That.
So they traded down from crazy. 2 to 5, and they got that. So back. See, I wouldn't have given up a future first. If I'm the Patriots, I think that pick's still
but valuable. A 4th and a 6th, I would have done that in a heartbeat for Travis Hunter all day. What are you getting
future,
in the
for a future first though? Also,
wait, is a future first involved in this?
It's also a 2026 first round pick. The Jags.
Hell, no,
yeah,
no, absolutely not. No,
yeah,
I can't.
But the way that I see with Travis Hunter, right, or not Travis Hunter, Will Campbell,
Travis Hunter, by the way. I guarantee this is going to be Travis Hunter.
Joe Alt. Like, does he compare against Joe Alt? No. Would Will Campbell have been a first round pick in last year's draft? 120%. And what people don't understand is that, Travis Hunter is just chilling right now with Lil Wayne. Like, Lil Wayne is just chilling with Travis Hunter. That is hard as hell. Oh my God. Imagine that being one of your guests back there. Oh my God. But anyway, look, my point on Will Campbell is that he still would have been a first round pick last year. He has the best mechanics in this entire draft, right? The only reason we're talking about this is because of his arm length, right? And he has, the wingspan, I think you mentioned, very, very good point, right? Like, people don't talk about that. That is also a concern. When it comes to the 33-inch arms, though, people I think are overhyping that. Penei Sewell, 33-inch arms. Rashawn Slater, 33-inch arms. Like you mentioned, the wingspan does definitely come into play. But when people are talking about the 33-inch arms, there are several tackles, some of the best tackles who play with 33-inch arms. And the fact that Will Campbell played at LSU, he went up against some of the best edge defenders in arguably the best defensive line class we've seen in NFL history to come out of a draft. And he was perfectly fine, I think says a lot. Now, he fell off a little bit this past year, but I think that's in large part because of the quarterback play at LSU. He had Jaden Daniels in 2023, and he looked stellar. He was one of the best tackles in college football. And even last year, he still was one of the best tackles in college football. I think he has the mechanics. I think he's going to be an above average tackle. And you know what? Worst case scenario, he gets bumped into left guard and he's an all-pro left guard. The concern is he going to work out at left tackle? The concern is not, is Joe Alt going to be a bust? Joe Alt is going to work out for you on the O-line. There is no scenario on which Joe Alt is a bust of a pick. The only question is he a left tackle or a left guard?
I think personally, he'll be a left tackle at the next level. He will do great against your mom and pop guys, even guys that are above average. But against like the Myles Garretts, the TJ Watts, the real elite pass rushers, he's gonna struggle. But who doesn't? But are you picking him at 4 though? Because if Travis Hunter's taken off the board here, We've already heard Abdul Carter is going to go to the Giants, and that front seven is going to be scary. But that's besides the point. Are you drafting Will Campbell at 4 though?
In an ideal world, like, no, I'd like to trade down a little bit, but tackles are so valuable because they're never available. Like, they don't hit free agency. They're not available for trade. There's not enough good tackles in the league. And Will Campbell is the best offensive lineman in this class. So where are you trading down? Like, if you're trading down to like 6, then okay, then I'd be okay with it. But anything farther than 6, there's a world in which somebody jumps you and gets Will Campbell. And for this team being where they are with the offensive line and being at tackle the last couple of years, to be completely honest with you, I just want to stop worrying about the offensive line. I want to have the tackle. I want to have the guard. And any type of offensive production starts with the offensive line. Oh, just get Ashton Genty. He'll make the offense look better. Oh, just get Ted McMillan. He'll make the offense look better. When Drake May has 2 defenders in his face, as soon as the ball is snapped, do you think he's getting the ball to Ted McMillan? As soon as the ball is handed off to Ashton Genty and there's 4 defenders in his face, do you think he's dodging off all 4 of those defenders? It's not realistic.
I don't get the Ashton Genty pick that people are just kind of banging on the table on. He's had 2,400 snaps. He's 5'8". He's going to be special at the next level, but that is just, it's eerily similar to Saquon Barkley with the Giants. People want to talk about how the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley. Well, he left a team that was just barren of talent to go to a team that had the best offensive line, 2 wide receiver ones, and talent just across the board. Ashton Genty would do great here. But I agree with you. I would dangle the Ashton Genty pick in front of everybody and try to see if you can move back with him being an option for them. I think, look, Travis Hunter is going to be off. I think that he's going to be the pick here with the Jaguars because it doesn't make any other sense to do anything else.
It's official, by the way. And let's go ahead. Let's let in the Patreon members real quick. And let me reset this thing up too. Should have done this beforehand. Let me add everybody in here real quick. We're going to have to reset it up, but we'll make it work. We got Tom in the chat. We got DTN. We got Nathan. We got, I feel like, the usual
Let's go, everybody.
How we doing, everybody?
How we doing, everybody? Welcome on into the Patriots Global 2025 NFL Draft Watch Party. By the way, the Jags did go Travis Hunter, as everybody expected. Like, that's official now.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is actually my very first live watch party with you guys, so this is actually gonna be fun.
Let's go, DTN.
Like, I actually watched last year's live watch party, the replay. It was actually fire, and I cannot wait for this year's.
I know, right?
Let's see what the Giants do here.
I do not want to hear any iota of an excuse for Trevor Lawrence ever again. He's got 2 top 10 receivers now.
Yeah, they have Brian Thomas now.
And here's my biggest, they've had him since last year, and he did a hell of a job as a rookie. But I think that now I think Trevor Lawrence is a bust. I think he's a huge bust. I think he's not going to do
for what it's
anything
worth,
with Liam
guys,
Cohen.
Internally, they're labeling Travis Hunter a wide receiver. That's how they submitted the pick.
I think he'll be a wide receiver. I think he's going to play both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be a great addition for the Jaguars. I think you still just have a question mark at quarterback. I just think that Trevor Lawrence is a bust. And this it sucks that he's going there. But, let's hope that the Giants draft Shador Sanders here. I really hope. You guys, your draft is ahead. I didn't even get the Travis Hunter pick.
Yeah, like in past years, I would give away the picks as soon as I got them, so...
Tom gets these things in real time. By the way, shout out to Roundtable Sports. They are at the NFL Draft right now in the media room. Make sure you guys follow Roundtable Sports on Instagram, Twitter at RoundtableSN. They're giving you exclusive interviews with each and every single prospect that comes in, giving you guys just behind the scenes looks, man. So make sure you guys follow them. I know Richie, our Jets creator, he was chilling there last night and just chilling in the hotel restaurant. And who walks in? Cam Ward with his family, just chilling, eating dinner, gets a picture and gets to talk for a little bit with the first overall pick, man. Got to talk to Travis Hunter too. So make sure you guys follow Roundtable Sports. But yeah, I mean, you know what? The Jags traded up. They got a guy who's going to help them on both sides of the football. You know, they don't need a wide receiver one, but they do need depth at wide receiver. I mean, Travis Hunter with what he's going to give with Brian Thomas, I think that could be deadly. But they really need help at cornerback. Honestly, what I would do if I'm the Jags, I think Travis Hunter's a better cornerback than he is a wide receiver. He needs to develop as a wide receiver. I would play him as cornerback early on, develop him at wide receiver behind the scenes, and then when you feel like he's ready, start slowly giving him packages on offense at wide receiver. That's what I would do if I'm the Jags.
And I think that being with Liam Cohen, who's really good at offense as an offensive coordinator.
The New England Patriots are now on the clock at 4.
Wait,
The Giants pick is in at 3.
Thank you, sir.
With the third pick of the 2025 NFL Draft,
Please,
the New York Giants select Abdul Carter.
Dang it!
Exactly what we all thought, guys. This is exactly how we saw it going. Well,
it's literally chalk at this point. So
we didn't necessarily think that it was going to be the Jags picking that too, but we thought it was going to be this order, right? I told you guys. I said I'm going to put my money on it. That's how the first 3 picks are going, and that's exactly how it goes, guys. I'd be surprised if this isn't Will Campbell.
And now Adam Schefter, he's been reporting before this draft even came up that he thought 8 tackles were going to go in the first round. So here's a really important decision to be made with, do we go and get Will Campbell here? Ashton Genty's still on the board. I'm not in favor of that, but you can use him as something you could dangle in front of all the teams. The Raiders, I believe it was the GM, said his son wanted Ashton Genty on the team, and he would basically disown him as a father. The Bears, Ben Johnson's infatuated with Ashton Genty. They're willing to trade up. Do you move the pick? Do you move down to 6 with the Raiders? Do you move down to the pick with the Chicago Bears? I'm curious what they do.
I think that makes a lot of sense too, Rob, because if it really is true that the Raiders want Ashton Genty, they've been linked back to Armand Membu significantly also. They do need a right tackle, so that's another direction they can go. But if they're looking towards Ashton Genty, now that the Browns have traded down, the Browns need a running back. Nick Chubb is not there anymore. He's actually still a free agent. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Browns traded down in order to get someone like Ashton Genty. So if that's really who the Raiders are looking at, they might have to jump the Browns in order to do so. I still think if the Patriots make that move, they could get Will Campbell at 6. But again, are we going to see a trade? I'm going to say it's more unlikely. I think the Patriots stay here. They solidify that offensive line. They make sure they get their guy. But there's a world in which it happens. Tom, what do you think about that idea?
Anything's possible at this point in time, really. Do we have a thing this year for when the pick is in? Because I'll let you know as soon as the pick is in. Yes,
Tom, let me know when the pick is in, and per usual, I'll run that little sound up.
I hope and pray that the Falcons will do something stupid, because that's been the running gag for like the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, so what do you think, DTN? Do you think
so we have a report from The Athletic saying that the Browns are interested in trading down from number 5.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
They're just trying to acquire picks now. Okay.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. In a draft that just doesn't have much substance, the difference is if they trade back from 5, which is probably Genty there, you got teams like the Raiders and the Bears and they're just going to be loaded. They got a lot of problems. They don't have a quarterback. Joe Flacco is there now. So loading up in a class next year, which probably has Arch Manning, it makes a lot of sense to me.
And next year's class is just way better. Next year's picks are significantly more valuable. So the Browns getting a first-round pick next year is freaking huge. The Jags giving up that first-round pick. I don't think people understand how big that is.
The Browns have already won the draft at this point. I'm going to be honest with you. Any point, if they move down even more and get some more picks, that's just. And if they may get another first, who knows? This is crazy. Hey, Global, I'm going to when we do draft Will Campbell, I got it ready, up and going to collaborate with you on Instagram.
I just received a message from one of my friends who happens to be a Giants fan. He said we picked Abdul Carter LFG.
I mean, it was a smart move. Abdul Carter is the best player in this draft, in my opinion.
I hope he steps on a Lego.
That's crazy.
Does this mean that Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter will be on both sides of the defense line?
So Thibodeau is available for trade. So I'll be curious to see now that they got him if that makes him expendable. But honestly, if I'm the Giants, unless they get a haul for Thibodeau, I would wait, because now Thibodeau is going to get more valuable one-on-one matchups. With Abdul Carter, Thibodeau is going to get opportunities to be open all by himself. See if that can be their 1-2 punch before they ship him off. Unless they get a second-round pick, maybe even a third, I would wait to trade Thibodeau.
Interesting. Because I know for like last year they traded up to get like Brian Burns, and yeah, it was supposed to like upgrade the defense.
Still haven't made their selection yet.
They're really waiting, huh?
When you go and look at this,
has been made. I don't know what it is yet. I'm waiting to hear.
It's official. They're not trading down.
They are not trading down. They have picked.
They are not.
Okay,
It's official, y'all.
All right.
My seat's burning.
No trade down for the Patriots, guys. It is official. They are selecting here at 4.
please don't make me type this out and we don't draft Will Campbell.
I'm going to say 2. Like, you know, since the
Giants in. I know who it is.
The pick's in. All right. Let me run up the sound for you. We got the pick in for the New England Patriots. Let's run it.
What was it?
With the 4th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Will Campbell.
Woo!
Let's go!
I was not surprised. Like, I know that there are so many fans who are like so torn.
Global.
I know that they're like torn. Like, should we trade down with like the Saints or the Bears to get Will Campbell, or do you stay to get Will Campbell? That's what me and MA Football Guy on my live stream have been discussing on my shows like every single Friday. So, yeah, we're like so torn because everybody has mixed feelings about Will Campbell, and I completely understand that. Like, I thought like people want like Armand Membu, but the problem is I do not want to see another experiment of a right tackle
DTN
again. We don't want another Okorafor.
Heck no. Throw that out the window.
I think the maturity was there. He's fine. Membu, I don't know if it's not a question mark. We don't want to do that, but I think he would have translated. It's just that at least now we have some part of the left side locked down. Whether it's left guard, left tackle, we have some part of the left side locked down. I think one thing I admire about him is his grit. He's a captain. He's a leader in the locker room. He's gonna be somebody that's going to, like he said before the draft. You can ask Jaden Daniels. I fight for my quarterback. It's something you want to hear. Am I turned off by the pick? I like the pick. I just wouldn't have liked it here. That's the biggest thing. But hey, we got at the very least, people. We have our left guard of the future, left tackle of the future,
and. You know what, Rob? I think you said this perfectly, and me and you, we kind of touched upon what we thought about this potential pick because I said 95% chance. I should have said 99, but I didn't want to press the.
Might as well be 99, man.
I didn't want to press the people too much because people are already getting mad. But we all knew that this pick was coming. It was very obvious. It was written on the wall.
I've been hearing it for weeks.
But you know what? He's 21 years old. He's 21 years old. He has so much time to develop. What you saw at LSU. There is still so much more development to happen. I think that's what's so intriguing is that as good as he was, a former 4-star recruit who is an Iron Man, he played every game across his 3 years at LSU. There's still room for this guy to develop. Beautiful size, beautiful height. As a left tackle, this is the guy that you'd want to build, in a lab. 6'6", 323 pounds, has 33-inch arms, super smart, has that dog in him, high football IQ, right? Everybody's saying that, 33 inches, that's way too small. He can't be a tackle. He's officially a bust. Penei Sewell, 33-inch arms. Rashawn Slater, 33-inch arms. His arm length was not a problem for him in high school. It was not a problem at LSU, who has some of the highest competition level in all of college football. He went against some of the best edge defenders that are in the NFL now and are going to be in the NFL in this draft. And he did perfectly fine. Now, he did take a bit of a step back this past year, had his worst year in college football, but that was because of the quarterback play at LSU. If you go back and you look, that quarterback had no idea what he was doing. He would constantly run towards Will Campbell's left side and then run right into Will Campbell. I think the version you're getting of Will Campbell is closer to 2023 than it was 2024. 2023, when he gave up 0 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, and 12 hurries because he had Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Drake May is a very, very versatile quarterback. He can excel the offense past its limitations. He's going to make the offensive line look better than it is. So I think any struggles that Will Campbell's even going to have, Drake May is going to help mask those things because of his mobility. I don't think you can underestimate just how big of a move this is because, Rob, I think you said it's projected that there's how many tackles supposed to go in the first round?
Adam Schefter projected 8.
He projected 8. And if you look last year, I think around that same amount went. And so everybody's saying, wait until the second round to get a tackle. What if that guy's not there? What if there isn't a Josh Connerly? What if there's not an Ariante Ursary? Then you are screwed with left tackle yet again.
And when you go and look at the teams that need left tackle, Miami just lost Armstead. He retired, right? Am I right on that one? So that's
retired. The Saints need tackle help also.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs need tackle help. The Saints need tackle help.
The Raiders, because Colton Miller's in a contract situation.
They also need a right tackle.
So
the Browns have made their pick at 5.
They're staying with it.
And with the 5th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Mason Graham.
That's a great pick.
Whoa, wow.
Great pick for them. They didn't go after Denti. That's a surprise. But
that was surprise.
The defensive side of the football. That's
is
a dog
that's
with
disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
So good. Holy cow.
Now, before we continue on talking about the rest of the picks, talking about Mason Graham and whatnot, the other thing that I want to say about this Will Campbell pick too is that this is how you're getting your return on investment. And me and Rob kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. The biggest investment that this team has made in years was Drake May last year. How do you get your return on investment for Drake May? You keep the guy protected. If Drake May has time in the pocket, he can excel the offense past its limitations. The mobility he has, the ball placement he has, the ability to create off script. You just have to keep him safe. You just have to keep him in the pocket. Also, if you want Drake May to be your quarterback for the next 10, 15 plus years, you got to keep him protected. The more hits he takes, the more injury prone he's going to be. And if he has more injuries, he's not going to be in the league for that long, right? You want to keep your quarterback protected. Also, this is going to help the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. Those guys are going to have more time to get in and out of their routes, and it's going to give Drake May more time to get through his progressions, get through his footwork, get through those mechanics, and deliver an accurate pass. It's also going to help them get their return on investment for the running backs. Ramondre Stevenson signed to a multi-year extension last offseason. Antonio Gibson signed to a multi-year deal last offseason. Running backs need blockers. It doesn't matter how good you are. Everybody's saying Ramondre sucks. Gibson sucks because of last year. Those guys didn't have blockers. Go back and look at the damn film. As soon as the ball was snapped, there were 4 defenders already on our running backs last year. If you get those guys blockers, you get those guys ability and blocks, holes to run through in space. That's how you get your return on investment. Any offensive production starts with blocking. This helps the Patriots on a special team standpoint, and this helps the Patriots from an offensive standpoint, which they needed. This gives them their return on investment for every single player offensively.
And
another point I gotta make, during the combine, I heard one of the press conferences, people ask him about his arm length. He told the reporters, go look at the tape. He proved time and time again at LSU that what the tape shows that he is proven to be a left tackle. And another thing I like about Will Campbell is that you now have a leader in him, because you definitely lost David Andrews, your captain at center. So basically you need to boost up that leadership, because Morgan Moses, yeah, you may got him for free agency, but you need some young leaders to move forward. And I think that Will Campbell as a leader, I think that this is actually going to be great for the offensive line.
He could be a captain. Will Campbell could be a captain as early as this year.
He's a dog. But one thing that I think you alluded to, Colby, is Drake May was on pace to break Mike Vick's record for yards per attempt on a rush. He was arguably the best rushing quarterback in the whole entire NFL last year. And that was behind the worst offensive line in football. Now, look, like I said, we got him. He's here now. All we needed last year was an above average person on the left side where was Drake May's blind side. You're at the very least, you're getting an above average tackle. Can he be elite? Yes, he can be elite. There's still those factors of whether or not he's going to pan out, but at least he's not Verdarian Lowe. So that is already a significant upgrade.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
At least we don't have to deal with Lowe.
And Lowe's going to be at the DMV after today.
One more thing, too. One more thing I do want to pull this up real quick, because Will Campbell was asked about those 33-inch arms just yesterday, and I thought that he had a really, really good response. And I shared this earlier, but I want to share it one more time. Rob, I know you saw this, but I want to pull it up one more time. I think this is 2024 draft, but that's fine.
In the meantime, I'm going to actually make my own short on my channel. Just brief.
Love it, DTN. Love it, DTN, man. Hey, gotta get out that content. But all right, make sure you guys can hear this. Let's play what he had to say. So he was asked about his arm length and what people are saying about it, and this was his response.
About the pre-draft, the lead up, and dissecting stuff like that. When you feel like I've proven and I've shown on tape what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exhausting. I've heard it since I was 14 years old. You know, the school that I just went to, they said the same thing to me. You know, my coaches, you know, that everybody's had a concern with my arm length since I was 14 years old and I got my first offer. I didn't let it be a problem now, or then. I'm not going to now. You know, there's some teams that want to play me at guard, and I'm fully willing to do that because I'm a team guy first. I want to win, and I want to win now. I don't want to wait. And if that means me playing early, me winning, is me at guard, me at X receiver, me at tight end, that's what I'm going to do. So, like I said, wherever, you know, the opportunity presents itself for me to get on the field as fast as possible is what I'm going to do.
About the pre-draft.
And that's Will Campbell for you.
I
That is
will
your
say
New
this.
England
That is
Patriots
the
left tackle.
mindset we need. Like, this is the mindset that we need, guys.
That's
I
exactly
don't want
what
to
we
hear anything like about this. Like, this was the home run hit. Like, did you hear what he said? Like, Rob, you even alluded to it earlier. Like, this guy's grit, this guy's like determination to help out the team is just everything that the Patriots need at this point. Like, dude, everybody who's saying that this doesn't, he's a leader. Yes.
Look, man. One thing is that he trains hard. I mean, there's so many clips of him just like busting his ass. I believe it was a clip that was with Kyron Lacey, rest in peace, brother. But it just hit. The guy was like, just
With the sixth
hearing
pick.
his energy in the locker room was crazy.
With the 6th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft,
Has to be
the
Genty.
Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Jeanty.
Genty.
Yeah,
I'm not
that was
surprised.
Smart pick. Raiders fans wanted that. Shout out to my boy Graphic Raider, Raiders creator on YouTube, man.
You know
they
what's
wanted
crazy?
Ashton Genty so damn bad.
You know what's crazy? I get that the Browns and the Jaguars switched places, but this has been chalk so far because Mason Graham was projected to number 5 and Ashton Genty was projected to the Raiders. This is literally chalk. So, but who? And Membu's projected to the damn Jets. One second. Diana Rossini, I have the report. Diana Rossini had a report on, let me see, right here. The Jets spent a lot of time meeting with Armand Membu. My bad. Tony Pauline. Take that with a grain of salt. I take that back. Take that with a grain of salt because last year Tony Pauline had J.J. McCarthy going to the Patriots. So we'll see. But Armand Membu supposedly spent a lot of time with the Jets. So that might be the pick for the Jets. And that's solid. Morgan Moses walked out, and you got your right tackle for the next 10, 15 years.
Another player that they could go for, I did a little research on the Jets, like I've been doing a lot of like scourging, that they could also go Tyler Warren or someone else, because I know for a fact that they need a new tight end since they lost Tyler Conklin. Another player that they can go for is a wide receiver since they lost Devontae Adams, who is now with the Rams. So you have Garrett Wilson at your wide receiver 1, but they need like somebody because the gap between Garrett Wilson and whoever they have for the Jets, it's a huge gap. So they could go either other way. But I know that there were reports saying that they could go cornerback. I'm like, who in their right mind would think that the Jets would go cornerback? Who?
Also, Tyler Warren's been projected to go here as well. But another thing to note, Tet is out of the top 5, guys. He's dropping, and I don't know if that video of him saying he doesn't like to study tape unless it's with his teammates. That him falling is crazy. Now, I will. People are not bringing this up yet. We need to trade back into the first round at some point because it's going to start getting to the point where like you got the Matthew Goldens, the Emeka Ibuka. I predicted earlier in my live on my Patriots page that we were going to draft Will Campbell and Mecca Ibuka. We were going to trade it to 24 with the Minnesota Vikings, who only have 4 picks in this draft. So it just makes so much sense that they could just load up, because it doesn't make sense to stay with 4 picks. And that would be before the Houston Texans, who just lost Stephon Diggs. So Mecca Ibuka to the Texans would make too much sense. So why not jump in front of them and get him?
Yeah, CJ Stroud is his former wide receiver. That would make nothing but sense there, man. But I think the beauty in the pick here, the beauty in the pick of Will Campbell to the Patriots is now they don't have to stress, right? Now the rest of the draft can go however they want. If they want to trade back into the first round, they can, but they're not forced to. If they went with any other player other than a tackle at 4, they have to trade back into the first round, because you're not getting the tackle on day 2. You're not getting a plug-in for sure day 1 left tackle. Now that they have that guy, the rest of this draft can go any way they want. Somebody commented on, my post about the selection, and they said, not a flashy pick, but a safe pick. And it is. It's not a flashy pick, but it's exactly what they need for the rest of the offense to flash.
There was a funny thing. I saw this like at 4:00 on Instagram. Like, I think Will Campbell was like being interviewed by like Kay Adam on like the upper. So like, she asked him about being with what he liked about the Patriots. And one thing that stuck out to me was that Will Campbell, he really liked Mike Vrabel. He liked his like character, which I thought was
bring that up at like DTN, because I think that take it from Mike Vrabel himself. He said that he is got everything in the toolbox that you need to be a successful tackle. And I mean, that speaks volume from a guy who likes evaluating players. I mean, this is getting to the point where he's a good leader. He works his ass off every single day, and he's a Mike Vrabel guy. Like, what better could you want? Like, forget about the measurables.
I don't know about forget the measurables. That's definitely something to note. But the biggest thing is what's between the ears. He's going to be a pro's pro, and I think that for that reason it's going to be great, because the fact of the matter is you want to set precedent of because this pick meant a lot for maybe the next 5 years, people. This pick is what is going to be attached to Mike Vrabel moving forward. What was the first pick of the Mike Vrabel era? It was people thought it was going to be Jalen Walker. That's something that we were rumored. But earlier today, if I'm not mistaken, it was reported that we had met earlier this week, and the Patriots took a trip to Louisiana and had lunch with him. The same thing happened with Jalen Walker. But look, it's going to be it's a culture setter. This guy is going to be perfect for the culture. Now it's just whether or not he can overcome those. Because Colby, I'm going to keep going back to it. He's a unicorn, brother. He's going to have to overcome some significant adversity. What better way to do it with one of the easiest schedules in the NFL going forward? This year, we have one of the I believe before the season or before the draft season began, we had the 3rd easiest schedule. So why not get a little tune-up here to work on what he can work on? And what better way to do that with Doug Marrone, who's been in the NFL for, it seems, an eternity.
I mean, he's been a head coach, he's been an O-line coach, he's been a tackle at the pro level. I mean,
that's not the only one. Also, the Patriots have like 2 or 3 now veteran offensive line
with
coaches.
The 7th pick
pretty good.
Of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membo.
Oh, there we go. Yo, Richie's crying in the chat, bro. Richie's crying in the chat.
I think. I wonder if
Tyler Warren.
I wonder if Connor really likes that pick. I know that.
Why would you not like that pick?
I think Connor really likes that pick. I don't know.
They didn't want to go offensive line back to back.
It's an amazing pick. That's a ridiculously great pick.
It's the right pick. But
he gave up 0 sacks last year. What are you crying about?
Rob, people don't like the right pick.
You got old-fashioned, and now you have a right tackle. You got your 2 tackles. What's
just stop crying. And I know you're sorry Jets want to go ahead and actually win all of a sudden because you
just got old-fashioned last year.
Sit down, brother. We're going to get you, brother. We got the best defensive line in the whole AFC East.
They have a really good left tackle. They have a really good left tackle and a really good right tackle. Now you've got whoever comes, Justin Fields won't have to be running for his damn life now.
Really good pick.
Connor really likes that pick. I don't know what his friends are going to say about that pick because I know Connor really likes that pick.
Here's my thing. We need to stop projecting Tyler Warren like he's Brock Bowers. That's my biggest thing. He's a very good player. So is Colston Loveland. So is Colston. Oh, so is Mason Taylor that you could get probably at the end of the first round. Richie, look, you got both both bookend tackles. Your offensive line is pretty much set.
By the
Tyler
way,
Warren.
too, I don't know if he's actually upset, but I do know he really wanted Tyler Warren.
Look, man, he's not Brock Bowers. I think people would think that can be replicated. Brock Bowers in this draft probably would have been the first overall pick. This is that's how good he is. He's that damn good. And Tyler Warren, his blocking is not what you're not going to get what Brock Bowers is. Like, it just doesn't. I love the pick here. I'm kind of concerned because now going to be able to go blitz or get around those two bookend tackles, it's going to be very difficult to get.
Do you know, Rob, why that's such a good pick? Because, like you said, I mean, they got Olufashinu last year at left tackle. Now they can put him back to left tackle, play his original position, and now you got Membu playing at his natural position at right tackle. The thing, too, is that with the type of offense the Jets are going to run next year, they aren't going to be a very pass-heavy offense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to be like a Baltimore Ravens. They're going to run the ball 70, 80% of the time because they have a very mobile quarterback who's inconsistent in passing the ball. They also got Breece Hall. They got Braylon Allen. This helps make those guys even better. If they're going to be a heavy run-based offense, having one of the best O-lines in the NFL is absolutely vital. That is a smart pick by the Jets.
I'm just curious how their interior offensive line is. Like, what is their interior?
They got Elijah Vera Tucker. I know that.
They got John Simpson, and they also got their center and Joe Tipman.
That's all right.
So that's a pretty good. By the way, Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and Will Campbell, he said, and I quote, this is not typed correctly. This a young player who cares deeply about the team, is a leader in that room. We love his football character.
See, there's this.
I mean, if at anything, he will be an above-average tackle. Drake May was able to nearly break Mike Vick's record behind the worst offensive line in football. Imagine if he has where he could actually have some time back there.
You think Richie's crying? I want to see TD's reaction when his pick is coming next.
Oh, I hope they draft kicker. I hope they draft kicker. I listen to TD sometimes. I hope they draft kicker.
Dude, I love Ashton Genty though. Like Ashton Genty, like I'm not even talking about the player, but Ashton Genty just has like a pure human being. If you ever see him and like Kendrick Bourne making like videos and TikToks, like he's just a fun guy. They're gonna love him in Vegas.
Hold on, let me see how this.
If we were in a better position and we were, having everything solidify, we're a Super Bowl team, would you say that Ashton Genty would be the guy that would go here, in this draft?
Yes, but that's the thing. Mm-hmm. We're bringing up. I said this in my and I got chewed apart. It was kind of 50-50, pretty much my comment section. People were like, "Well, he's generational." Here's the thing: it's the Saquon Barkley situation where you have an offensive line, and you're in a rebuild. Grabbing Ashton Genty at 4 just didn't make sense to me. He would have been great, but the shelf life for a running back, you draft someone at 4, you're expecting them to play more than 5 to 10 years. The shelf life, I mean, this is how I equate it. Todd Gurley was amazing, fell off a cliff because they ran him into the ground. This is a running back that had over 2,400 snaps. He had 357 last year, 357 rushing attempts. That's insane. And that's not including maybe he's catching something in the flat and try to take that to the house. It's too much wear and tear.
So Mike Vrabel just said in his press conference that the Patriots had no offers to trade from pick 4. It was very quiet. They would have entertained something. Really? It was very quiet.
I don't think that's surprising at all because everybody wants to trade down in this draft. Like, it's not a great draft. This isn't a blue chip player draft. That's what I said. It's like everybody's going to be like, well, why didn't they trade down? You should have traded down and got him. In order to trade down, you need someone who's willing to
Who's going to agree.
That's just how that works. If you want to trade down, you need someone who wants to trade up. And who wants to trade up in this draft? Every team wants to trade down.
I think the only big piece to really want to go up there and get was Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Outside of those two, I mean, like
I
you
agree,
could
Rob.
make a case. You could make a case for Ashton Genty.
But this is a
it's
great
like
running back class.
exactly what I was going to say a couple of seconds ago. Amarian Hampton is projected to go around like the 15 to 20 range, and he's exceptional.
Dog.
He's an exceptional. And then you got the 2 Ohio State running backs. And then you got, I mean, this is my guy of the draft, and he's a late round guy. Kyle Monungai is a pinball machine, and he's projected in the 5th round. This is one of the deepest running back classes ever. Like, it's so damn good. You got RJ Harvey out of UCF. Like, there's so many damn good running backs. It just didn't make sense to go up and trade for him, but it made sense to go get maybe a Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Look, I will say this, and I'll say this again. I just hope, like, the Vikings pick is going to be there. Go up and trade and go and get a wide receiver, because we got our left tackle. Go get a skill guy. And man, I'll bang the table for this. It's got to be Jaden Higgins or Jalen Noel at 38. Because Colby, did you look at Jalen Noel's measurements at the combine?
Dude,
Like,
we actually asked him about him at the Senior Bowl.
He was like 1st and 2nd in everything. That means
Oh, you
vertical,
mean like the actual
broad jump. Like, bro,
Oh, yeah, he finished top 5 in every single category for wide receivers. We actually asked him, Roundtable Sports asked him at the Senior Bowl when they got an interview. They were like, you're about 5'11", 6 foot. I've seen different measures. And they were like, how do you feel about playing outside if you were asked to at the NFL level, as most people project you to be a slot in the NFL? And he said, I played outside at the collegiate level many times.
Of
so
the
I feel fine doing so.
2025 NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ted McMillan.
Yeah.
There we go.
See, dude, these
Bro,
picks
what
are
is
obvious.
going on?
You got a weapon for Bryce Young now.
It's literally chalk.
This
It's
is
literally
chalk,
chalk.
bro.
This pick doesn't make sense to me, though, because you kind of have the same similar type of receiver a little bit in Xavier Legette. I don't really understand this pick, but
Only thing, though, with Xavier Legette is Xavier Legette was a fast receiver. So, yes, he was good in contested
He was
catch
just dropping
situations.
a
He
lot.
had height, but they could also make him more of that speedster role who could play, all over the offensive formation, while Ted McMillan is a guy who they can play opposite of him outside the numbers to be that contested catch guy. Ted, he's not going to be fast, but he's going to give you, again, that contested catch opportunity, right? He had... what was it? A 60% contested catch rate this past season, 7.7 drop rate. I do have some concerns about, does he really like to watch tape? That drop rate, like I said, is a little bit concerning, but I definitely think that you can get both of those guys on the field. You got one guy who's going to be a field stretcher and the other guy who's a 50-50 ball catcher.
Does it also play into the fact that Adam Thielen is up in age?
That's another one too. Yeah. That's a good point.
I would have liked Jalen Walker there, man. It just felt like you lost.
That would have been a good pick.
Like, I get he's a tweener, but I mean, let me go and read something from Jalen Walker's his stats. As a linebacker in snaps, he was the most snaps. His PFF grade was 83.6, which was the highest. The pressures 34th, tied for the highest. Hurries 22, second highest. Win percentage 17.2, second highest. That was the pick for the Panthers. I knew they were going Ted, but the good pick here would have been Jalen Walker.
Yeah, their defense was horrible last season. Like, their offense was okay, but
Terrible.
It was okay, but like and the thing is about Jalen Walker is the guy you immediately get a leader in the locker room. You get a guy that is going to be the captain of your defense, the guy that's going to be the sledgehammer, the guy that's going to be the difference maker on your defense. And my biggest thing is where there's smoke, there's fire. That video that came out where he says he doesn't like to study tape unless it's with other teammates. Look, I get it. I don't care if it's from his freshman year. You cannot just all of a sudden build new habits and just be all of a sudden a guy that's just going to be like, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm no longer a lazy guy. Or I'm not saying he's lazy, but I'm saying that there's a red flag there because I didn't hear anybody detest it. I don't know. Did you guys hear anything that he's all of a sudden or any reports that came out said, hey, listen.
Exactly.
I do study tape on my own. There was literally nothing. Colby, did you get anything? So that for me,
I haven't heard anything.
I was out on him. And here's Colby, if someone goes and tells you about how you do your job, won't you I know it's kind of hard for us as content creators, but say that you're getting paid millions of dollars and you really don't lose much by speaking out. You think as Tet, you would have came out and said, hey, you know what? Who are you to tell me I don't study tape? and just be like, yeah, I do study tape. I didn't hear nothing. And that for me, that's the reason why I was out on Ted.
So we have some context.
A lot of people said that too. They were like, hey, well, that was freshman year. Okay, that was freshman year, but how do I know he's changed? Just because it was a few years ago doesn't mean he's a different person all of a sudden. Like, what's come out to make me believe that now all of a sudden he does like to watch film? Unless something comes out, I'm going to go with what I do know.
And Ted was one of my remember how many damn live streams we did? And I was like, Ted's my number one wide receiver. Up until like a month ago when this video came out, I was out on him. But let's look at New Orleans. Do they go Shador Sanders here? Because I'm
the issues
Derek
with
Carr's
Carr
shoulder injuries. But I want to go back to something about Tech McMillan. One day when he announced that he is going to be out on the combine workouts, he feared that his 40-yard dash would have been slower than everyone than he.
And I don't go in. Who's going to go and put much stock in a hand timed? Because like there's a lot of error that goes. Oh, the guy got 4.48 to 4.55. I'm not going to go off that. There's so much human error. But yeah.
So I guess that blockbuster trade from earlier in the draft had been in the works for several weeks, according to
yeah, of course, man.
Several weeks?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yeah,
it has to be, man. Like that's the reason. Looking at how confident Andrew Berry looked, but I don't know. Mason Graham, I like that pick at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the hell the Browns go from here though, because it's like they still need a quarterback. And Joe Flacco is ancient. So what are they doing? When are they going to do? Because there's rumors that the Giants and the Browns are looking to trade back into the first. I believe it was Ian Rappaport that reported that they want to trade back into the first. And I believe they were eyeing Jackson Dart. Or maybe because I don't see if Shador Sanders falls past New Orleans, it's going to be a while before he gets picked because I do see the maybe Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin reportedly or as a rumor is infatuated with him. And why not drop him into a system where they're known for being above 500 for the last decade and you have DK Metcalf and George Pickens to throw to?
Don't the Browns also have Kenny Pickett? And like Kenny Pickett, he was a first-round pick and then he became a bust.
I don't know if we should be talking about baby hands. That guy's going to be a backup.
I love that nickname.
The one thing about Shador Sanders, he doesn't have the mobility. It's not so much like he's very accurate, one of the most accurate quarterbacks ever in college football. It's just the other tangible attributes in his game. He's not a mobile quarterback. He's a part of that old guard. And what better person to learn from that he had as a mentor was Tom Brady.
I'm told that the Saints have made their selection. They are not picking a quarterback here.
Interesting.
They could go anywhere. They could. I could see them going. They realistically should go cornerback here. They should go with Jahdae Barron. To be honest with you, that's where they should go.
And this is the one thing I don't know. I don't know where they're going here. This wouldn't be
with the 9th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks.
Wow,
Kelvin Banks.
Does it like the factor that Trevor Penning is not getting a 5th year?
So they did just have a tackle. They did just have a tackle retire. So this does make sense. But I'm surprised. I mean, but guys, look, this is exactly why you had to take Will Campbell where you did. Look how many tackles have already gone, and it's only the top 10.
Here comes. I mean, let's look at the run. You got. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 in the top 10.
3 alone, just in the top 10.
Adam Schefter. I mean, he's on pretty much on pace, and then you still got teams
Clearly
like Miami.
He knows what he's talking about.
Miami's coming up. Chicago maybe could use something. The 49ers.
Chicago's on the clock, so.
The 49ers? I mean, the 49ers, you got what? Yeah. Trent Williams, who's getting up there in age. You could probably go and grab a developmental left tackle. If I'm the 49ers, I mean, grabbing maybe Josh Simmons here, that wouldn't be bad. You could put him behind, and then he can, was it a plantar fascia, I believe. Tell me if I'm saying this injury right, which he could sit behind. Okay, yeah. So he could sit behind the best left tackle in football and Trent Williams, and it just makes sense.
Could the 49ers also go wide receiver since they did
Oh,
lose
yeah,
Deebo
yeah, they
Samuel
definitely could.
and Brandon Ayuk? We have no idea what's going on with that.
I got a bold take. I think that later on in the draft, I do see the 49ers taking a wide receiver. I just don't see it here. Savion Williams, it reminds me a lot of Adebo, Samuel, Cordell Patterson. And in the 49ers offense with Kyle Shanahan, it just makes too much sense. What do you think about that, Colby?
Say it one more time.
Savion, am I saying the name right?
Savion
Savion Williams at TCU reminds me of Cordell Patterson.
Kendrick Bourne
like a
just
Deebo
tweeted out
Samuel. And I think that 49ers
Will
taking him later on in the draft would just be perfect replacement for Deebo Samuel.
No, I completely agree with you. I think he played a different position than he converted. I think he's a little bit raw. I think he's more of a chess piece that when you want to use all over the offensive formation, you're going to use him at H-back, you're going to use him in the slot, you're going to use him outside. That's why I don't love Savion Williams for the Patriots, just because they've never done well with those type of those types of receivers where they have to find creative ways.
I mean, Cordell Patterson, while he was here, I'm not saying draft him anywhere close to maybe the sixth.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go get him, you go get him in the 6th or 7th round, and it wouldn't be bad getting him as a flyer pick. But yeah, if he goes to the 49ers, that's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, that make a ton of sense for them.
Why is it not showing that the Saints pick is in on the PFF? Does it take that long?
Oh, it's my bad. I didn't select.
Yeah, that's what I thought because
Get it together, Colby. You're hosting this thing. Am I just
Come on, Colby.
That's my bad, guys.
Well, right now, I'm
You want me to do your job for you, Colby? I'm joking.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are, look, how many people are in this live right now? Let me help Colby out. It's 100.
We got 404.
Oh, 400.
That's a lot of people.
I'm a retired Marine. I don't know how to add. So there's 400. It's 400 of
For the
you.
addition part.
Go hit the like button, guys. There are so many things in the works right now behind the scenes with me and Colby. Just
It's true.
keep your hats down. But the best way to do it is promote the channel. Go smash that like button, run up the comments, share it with your mother, grandmother, and everybody else, and keep this train moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love grandmas here, man.
You got the best Patriots content in the planet, brother and sisters, whoever you are.
Brothers and sisters.
My God.
He just told us, brother.
Big shout out to Diehard Pats fan, by the way, comes in with a big $10 donation, guys. Let's see if we can get
money.
The donation goal by the end of the stream here. Says, glad I made it. I was worried that I was going to miss this live party, and I ain't missed one yet. Let's go, baby, man. Best time of the year.
Much love,
legendary
Go.
man.
Die Hard.
All right, so who do we have? We got the Bears up. So the Bears really wanted Ashton Genty.
Omari and Hampton.
I'm about to say, do you think there's a world in which they just go Omari and Hampton? Some people had Omari and Hampton above Ashton Genty, as crazy as that is.
I wouldn't go that far, but Omari and Hampton here is a sledgehammer of a running back. The guy has just like so much like bend
size
to
and
his
speed.
game.
Are you kidding me? Runs through a brick wall, but can also run past you. That's insane.
The Bears are picking
Omari and Hampton.
Who's on the board? I gotta see.
Omari and Hampton. Do it, Ben.
I could go like Mike Green too. That'd be.
Do it, Ben Johnson. I know you want your running back. You're thinking Jahmyr Gibbs. Come on. I know he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. He's more of a David Montgomery than a Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. Go Omari and Hampton here.
Go. Right now, I'm listening to the Will Campbell press conference, and one of the questions I heard was like, "What do you like about the Patriots?" I think he likes how Mike Vrabel's hands-on, blah blah blah, all that. I'm just listening to the press conference right now.
You're good, brother.
With the 10th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland.
Whoa! Wow! First tight end off the board.
No.
How many tight ends do you need?
You got Cole Kmet, and
wow.
Well,
wait. What's the don't they have Cole Kmet? Don't they have someone else? I forget who's
Darrell Everett. He's done free agency.
Yes, they got some tight ends, but I'm not going to lie. Colston Loveland was my tight end one for a few years, and that's what I was curious about is are teams going to view Tyler Warren the way that the rest of the fan bases league-wide view Tyler Warren? Because Tyler Warren before this past year was never viewed as a first-round pick. He took Penn State by storm this past season, and that's why he jumped Colston Loveland. He became a first-round prospect. Tyler Warren is the better all-around tight end, but Colston Loveland, from the receiving threat, from the way that he runs routes, his route tree, his separation, he is by far the best receiving threat at tight end in this entire class, and honestly, he's going to be one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL immediately.
I don't think Colston Loveland's a worse tight end than Tyler Warren. I think that Colston Loveland lost Jim Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy in that championship team. And having that quarterback play and being a terrible quarterback that they had back there, if you would have had the quarterback he has now, which is this kid that basically paid him like $10 million or whatever it is. If you would have had that quarterback, there wouldn't be any question about who the best tight end in this class is. I personally thought Colston Loveland
With
was
the 11th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft,
Josh Simmons.
The San Francisco 49ers select Mykel Williams.
Whoa.
Interesting.
They go edge.
He has an injury that supposedly he's fighting through right now, right?
Very young, too. He's only 20 years old. So, there's a massive developmental upside with him. I think that's why you're taking him this high, is because you're banking on, hey, there's a lot of still development that you can get out of this kid, especially coming from Georgia. Honestly, though, I see Mike Green on the board, and I know that, with Mike Green, he's falling because of those character concerns. I think that's overblown. James Pierce, I said that I think he's going to fall more than people are expecting because he has real character concern. I'm a big fan of Donovan Ezaraku coming out of Boston College. I mean, this guy, from his physical toolbox to his football IQ, I think is an absolute monster. I don't think Mykel Williams should have been the second edge defender taken off.
On May 14th.
May 14th is the schedule release?
Correct.
I think the Dallas Cowboys go Matthew Golden here. CeeDee Lamb needs freaking help.
Unless Jerry Jones does something stupid.
CeeDee Lamb, but you know what? They do stupid things in Dallas. They don't want to put curtains. They don't want to put curtains up. They want their players blinded by that whatever Jesus is shining through at their stadiums. They need. God forbid. It cost me $20 to get blackout curtains. You can't do that in your stadium. You're making billions of dollars.
Every single little thing that's going to come up in the near future.
So
you go ahead. Don't question me at all. Says Jerry Jones.
I think Matthew Golden goes here, though. I'm
could
sorry.
also see,
why am I getting pressed about Jerry Jones and his geriatrics?
What do you guys think about Amari and Hampton?
I could also see the Cowboys going Amari Hampton because they do need running back.
Yeah, that would be a smart pick, honestly.
I hope they draft kicker because you know what? Screw the damn Dallas Cowboys.
But they have
Javonte Williams.
Cowgirls,
they did lost some. Yeah, they have Javonte Williams, but I think they need to go. They also need to go running back because running back was so ass. They had what's left of Zeke last year.
No, they need look. This
Tyler
class is too damn deep at running back. They need to grab Matthew Golden.
I was about to say, what about Matthew Golden?
How many times have I said this today? Oh my Lord, you guys are driving me nuts. I said,
I can tell you're a former Marine, man.
Yeah, you know what? The drill instructor's coming at me. I apologize.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot about Matthew Golden for a second. I was like, wait a minute. They could use some wide receiver help. Honestly, they should go. Dude, imagine Tyler Warren goes here because they could use some help at tight end. But I think it's going to be an offensive player. I think it's between Tyler Warren, Matthew Golden, and Amari and Hampton. That would be the smart pick.
How about Ryan Fitzgerald out of FSU?
Ryan Fitzgerald's 12th overall.
He's the best kicker of all
in the draft.
time. Let's go ahead and pick him.
Best kicker in the draft.
What are they, the Raiders?
Exactly. Let's go and pull. What the hell was that kicker?
Sebastian Janikowski.
There you go. Why not? Come on, Jerry.
Come on. Go, Jerry. You know the Cowboys are on your side.
Wait.
I'm also watching on Instagram Will Campbell when he was upstage. I saw him crying when he was asked about the Patriots. And
I love that.
I'm going to fight and die to protect them with everything I got.
He said that.
Let's go.
Will Campbell said that crying.
Can you get?
Yeah, on stage,
I have. Wait 1 second. Can you pull up the clip on my page, dude? Because so I got a bunch of Patriots pages. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for helping share content right now.
This is from Patriots Nation. I found it, and now it's on the. Actually, it's now on the Patriots official page.
Wait 1 second.
You are brought to New England to protect Drake May. What kind of tone are you going to set on this offensive line?
I'm going to fight and die to protect them with everything I got.
You know what?
Let's
You know what?
Let's go.
Ford's already
Let's
hyped.
go.
No, fire emojis and everything.
You know what? Damn it! Gotta hit me in the damn feelings.
Take back your take, Rob. Take back your take.
I'm not taking it back. I want to see it with my own eyes. Look, I didn't say I don't want him. I said I didn't want him at 4. Don't come after me with your spears and arrows. I just didn't want him at 4. That's it. But like Mike Vrabel alluded to, nobody wanted to trade it up because you know what? Ashton Genty was the only other piece that you could probably trade up to, and it's a deep running back class. If this running back class was a little bit more anemic, then maybe you would have had teams try to trade up for Genty.
Patriots could be looking to try to move back into the first round. Sounds like Mike Vrabel maybe making.
What does the war room look like right now? I would love to be a fly on the wall in there.
Yeah, I want to see what Ryan Cowden and Elliot Wolf are cooking.
Yeah,
up.
we need documentary live reality TV in those war rooms.
Facts. I second that. We need a documentary of that.
So there was a report by Mark Daniels who said Mike Vrabel put on a pad and worked out Will Campbell one-on-one. He said, and I quote, "If that tape ever gets out, people are going to have some problems. It was important for me to get out there and, well, that sounds wrong, and feel him and feel every player we evaluated at the line of scrimmage."
Pause.
Yeah, I had a debate on if I wanted to reword that, but
Pause.
wow, Will Campbell also said, "This is where I've wanted to go from the start. Or this is where I wanted to be from the start."
That's what we want. We want
Take that, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
facts.
Let's keep it a buck. And I know we're all biased Patriots fans, but if we swap positions, you had Drake May go to where Jaden Daniels is, and you swapped. I think Drake May would have done better. That's just me, because I think Drake May running behind the worst offensive line, the worst coaching, no run game, receiving core is just terrible, and somehow we squeaked any freaking wins last year. I think that's in him being one of the best rushing quarterbacks in football. That give
he doesn't
him
have to deal with
anybody.
Lowe and Jacobs anymore.
And here's the thing: is Stephon Diggs? I get he's not. People may not view him as a 1 anymore. Has anybody seen his training this offseason? That doesn't look like a guy that's coming off an ACL injury. This is a guy. Here's my thing, Colby. This is a guy that before last year, when he got injured, he has 6 1,000-yard seasons in a row. Do you know who's done that? Not many wide receivers. So if he's not a wide receiver 1, then I guess half the NFL isn't either. I'm not saying he's a 1. I'm just saying you can't lie when the stats are the stats. He had 6 1,000-yard seasons, and he was going to get 1,000 last year before his ACL injury. He was going to get it. So you're going to tell me he was up there with what? Mike Evans, Jamar Chase for how many yards per season? Like, I'm watching his training camp. That don't look like a guy coming off an ACL injury.
Don't forget too that Chris Godwin was on a pace for like 1,400 yards last year too. I mean, did you not see him in the first 4 weeks of the season? He was balling.
Yeah, but
here's
the thing with Chris Godwin. He was never leaving Tampa.
No, he wanted to be in Tampa.
Heck no.
And the thing is, so I actually prefer we got Stephon Diggs over Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has a history of injuries. When you look at Stephon Diggs, this was his first major injury of his career. So
crazy.
And whoever his doctor, I think is Doc Reef, if I'm not mistaken. I follow him on Instagram. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's his name, but the guy who is going to make a ton of money, because if Stephon Diggs plays week 1 and based off what I'm seeing in training camp, and not training camp, based off his training, that does not look like a guy coming off an ACL injury. He looks like he's ready to run against your best defensive back.
And David puts out a big point too. Contract is pretty dang, reliable too. Like you can get out of it after
There's
1 year.
Out after year 1. There's an out. And
against the Bills too. 2 times a year. I'm like, put on that dog on him.
It's a team-friendly deal.
He's betting against himself. I think he's going to play out that contract. I think it just makes too much sense. you're going to have a lot of guys. When you look at this wide receiver core right now, it's a lot of youth. It's a lot of guys. I mean, Keyshawn Butte, after one of the games, said, "Hey, I went to the sideline. I don't know why I have to tell the sideline to throw the ball to me. Hey, Keyshawn Butte, wake up. You're a 6th-round pick. You're a guy that's inconsistent. I'm not trying to take shots at you, but there's no reason to be talking like that." Jalen Polk saying how he has the best hands in the NFL. Stephon Diggs is going to wake them up to reality that the fact that they're not as good as they say they are, and that they need to do the walking before they do the talking.
I agree.
What's taking
Stephon Diggs is going to make them work. I'm telling you right now. And if anybody wanted, like, Javon Baker is a mold of clay. Mike Vrabel, we're hearing rumors that he loves Javon Baker. Look, me before last season, before we drafted him, I projected Javon Baker as being a Stephon Diggs clone. So why not get Stephon Diggs to train Stephon Diggs to become Stephon Diggs? Good. So he'll work if he and Javon Baker. There's one thing. Yes, he has the off the field problems. Yeah, he's gotten in trouble. But if there's anybody that can work with Javon Baker because the kid is a hard worker, it is Stephon Diggs. He's going to turn this kid into a route machine, and I'm excited about that. Jalen Polk. I mean, I hope this year Stephon Diggs puts this kid in his place. And I'm not trying to be rude, but in terms of like, hey, listen, man, everything's earned. It's not you do less of this, more of this.
Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, the biggest reason why I've been like going like, hey, we don't really need a wide receiver that high. Like, let's be honest. It's because, dude, we paid so much to running backs last year. It was crazy. Like, you got to get your return on investment for $9 million invested in Ramondre Stevenson, the $10 million they invested in Antonio Gibson, and the guy you're going to take in this draft. Like, I mean, first it started with being the guy to protect these guys and create holes. But like, I mean, you got 2 young guys in the building that are already there. Like, Stephon Diggs was the last missing piece to the wide receiver room, in my opinion, the longer I look at it. And it's just so crazy that we're talking about. I mean, look, I love Jaden Higgins. Don't get me wrong. That guy's a baller, like an absolute dog. But the thing is, put your critical thinking cap on, bro. Like, we got so much to develop right now. Give these guys another year. I don't like going into taking risks like that very often, but this is the time. I mean, Colby's alluded to it many, many times. How many wide receivers, like NFL caliber wide receivers, do we have in this room? Like, for real now. Like,
do we still not know who the Cowboys took?
We still don't.
We have no idea what the Cowboys are taking right now. What's taking them so long?
I think it's been like 20 minutes.
But going back to what you said about Stephon Diggs, Nathan, and Javon Baker, I think that I better not hear Javon Baker saying,
with the 12th pick of the
thank you.
2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker.
What?
Ooh. Wow, they go guard high. Whoa.
What? Yep. Jerry Jones is back on the meds.
LFG moment?
Take it, child girls. Take it,
Right.
child
Why
girls.
would you not go Bray Zabel if you wanted to get that? I mean, you're going with a pure guard. Projected 6th-round guard in the top.
CD Lamb's over there, like CD Lamb's over there. CD Lamb's over there in the chains, in the bars
So
behind.
I asked this last year on last year's stream, and I'll ask it again. Is this the first WTF pick of the draft?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's clanking it. He's like, spare change. Get him another wide receiver. Why would you draft Tyler? Like, what is this pick?
I don't know, man.
That's a big reach. Holy crap.
You got
we thought Cole
Tyler Smith. What is Jerry smoking?
Cigarettes, bro.
The Cowboys got them doobies.
You got Tyler Guyton last season, and then 2 years before that, you drafted Tyler Smith. It makes 0 sense. Well, did Tyler Booker play right guard or left guard?
Left guard.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zach Martin played right guard. And because of Zach Martin's retirement, there is a gaping hole at right guard. But
like at 12th overall, you're like, does Jerry Jones be like, oh yeah, I think he's gonna be a Hall of Fame Zach Martin level guard? No, dude, what are you doing here? You going look? like I know I'm making jokes of it, but CeeDee Lamb needs a dance partner. And he can't do it all by himself. If he's catching 1,000 footballs, you're not going to win many games when teams are going to game plan just shutting down CeeDee Lamb. I know that's a tall task, but like if you ain't got nothing else, you can put safety help over the top, and then maybe it's going to make CeeDee Lamb struggle. Now, I mean, this class is so anemic at the wide receiver position. It's going to start getting worse and worse, and you draft a guard. This is that Cowboys pick.
This is lunacy.
It's like the before and after picture, like when you get DirecTV. This is before DirecTV. This is after DirecTV. Like, what are you doing here? That pick. I'm sorry, Colby. That pick don't make no damn sense to me.
This doesn't make sense. And I thought the Falcons would do something stupid, but this is lunacy.
They should have at least went with Gray Zabel. They should have went with Gray Zabel at the very least. I mean, this was a guy that killed it at the Senior Bowl. This is someone who has tackle versatility, can play guard, can play center. If you're going to take a guy at 12 and you're going to ask him to be a guard, at least take a guy who can also play tackle, who can play center if you need be. I mean, I don't know. I really like Tyler Booker. I don't want it to get mixed up like we're making fun of Tyler Booker. He's a bad prospect. I think he's a good prospect, but there's better players on the board, and I think you could have gotten him later. If they wanted to get him, is still in the first round, get that 5th-year option. You could have traded back into the first round, but at 12, it just doesn't make sense. At least when the Patriots got Cole Strange, they traded down and got him late in the first round.
That's right.
Yeah,
like, get something in return for him, you know?
Yeah, like Tyler Booker is a great prospect, but that is the true definition of a reach right here.
You could have got Tyler Booker at the end of the first round. If you know that that's your guy, trade back, please. Like, it doesn't make sense to me at 12. Like you said, who's the one that just said, like, Omarion Hampton at 12? I think I even said that crap. Omarion Hampton, Matthew Golden.
I alluded to that. But
yeah, so, like, why not draft one of the best? You don't have a run game. Maybe take some load off of Dak Prescott's plate and go get Omarion Hampton, who's a hell of a running back. Tyler Booker is a good player, but at 12, this is like Cole Strange going in the first round.
That's what I was asking like 5 minutes ago. Is this their Cole Strange?
100%. Someone's laughing in the war room and pointing at them like, "Why did you do this?" I don't know. Does Jerry Jones know something we don't? I don't know.
Good one, Edward.
What did he cook?
Speaking of cooking, let's see what Chris Greer is going to be cooking up, because I know
Shedeur Sanders, because Tua's made of glass.
So if they're smart, they'll go with. I gotta see who's left
tackle.
Ooh.
Left tackle.
I go Gray Zabel.
Maybe Gray Zabel.
Gray Zabel.
Because Josh Simmons is injured, so he's not playing week 1.
Could they also go corner because of?
No, this is Josh
They
Connerly.
could go corner if they do trade Jalen Ramsey, but like you need to go tackle. You need to go some type of offensive line. If Tua is your quarterback,
with Tua's health.
Yeah, if you have Tua as your quarterback, you have to solidify that O-line. They need help at guard. They need help at tackle. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because they re-signed Liam Eisenberg. I don't know who's the worst.
PG, where
they
did
also
you
need help at safety. So
Booker in the mock draft today. I know you were looking for him.
Yeah, I got him. I selected him today at 38 in the second round.
It's a second round pick.
Exactly. Like,
yeah,
and he went 12th overall.
This actually makes us look a lot smarter for grabbing Cole Strange. Like that's how bad this is. I don't know, but Will Johnson for the Dolphins makes sense here. But like again, like Colby said, like is this Josh Simmons? I don't know. I think I think I heard a story or report that like Josh Simmons is good now. I don't know if don't quote me on that, but if he's good, he was the best left tackle in this class before his injury. The biggest thing with Josh Simmons is his maturity is what people have been alluding to. So, is Josh Simmons here? Will Johnson? I personally, if you want to keep Tua upright because of how many concussions he had, you have to go offensive line here. You lost Armstead. It doesn't make any sense to go anything other than left tackle here.
It's got to be a tackle.
Or at least Gray Zabel, who gives you versatility all over the offensive line to where if you want him to be a tackle or a guard, he can at least pin in there for you.
Exactly. And let's not forget too, like, what's the story behind Tyreek Hill going on right now? Like, I heard he still wanted to stay in Miami and not or
I don't know why that guy shouldn't. He just keeps. I wouldn't want him on my team. I don't know, and I envision any other team not wanting him on their team because the guy is just Imagine the PR team trying to like he's just constantly saying he's leaving subliminal messages that he doesn't want to be with the Dolphins. Oh, I want to be with the Dolphins. Oh, I don't want to be with the Dolphins. Winky face. I want to stay with the quoting someone's tweet about him going somewhere else. Like, bro, what are you doing?
All right, let's see.
I think wide receiver could be under a radar pick for the Dolphins.
That's an underrated pick. Like Jalen Waddle, I think he's overrated because
it can make it easier to move off of Tyreek Hill and get a guy that actually has something in between the ears and Matthew Golden here.
I agree.
Yeah.
No lie. That's a good pick.
Get some more picks for an aging Tyreek Hill, which honestly he's starting to look like he's falling off a little bit. And I honestly he's the locker room cancer at this point. And I'm not saying he's not a good teammate or whatever, but based off some of his actions and how he's conducting himself as a professional, it's alarming.
Hey man, 71 likes right now, but over 400 people watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video,
y'all.
Hit
that sub button as well while you're at it.
Button, turn on them notifications for more updated content.
All right, we got that 13th pick
of the 2025 NFL Draft. The Miami Dolphins select Kenneth Grant.
Let's go. They messed it.
Oh, wait, they went
what?
with an interior.
You know what's interesting? Dan projected the Bills to get Kenneth Grant. Like I thought he would be projected to be like in the 30s. Like this was like Buffalo's bread and butter. But did they lose Christian Wilkins last season?
They did. And honestly, Kenneth Grant, people are going to make fun of this because they'll look at PFF and see that he was projected to go later on. Honestly, I think Kenneth Grant is the second best interior defensive lineman in this class. A lot of people want to talk about Mason Graham, but people don't want to talk about who his teammate was, Kenneth Grant, who was a big reason that Mason Graham got open. He got favorable matchups because Kenneth Grant was a guy who was taking away some of those double teams. So honestly, Kenneth Grant, good player, but I don't really understand the pick. I would have waited to go later. I would have tried to get, maybe even a cornerback. If the defense is the route that you were going to go, you had Malachi Starks right there. But what they should have done is they should have gone offensive line. Like, how many times do we have to see with teams? If you have even one hole on the offensive line, they address that immediately. And they have multiple holes on that O-line. Tua should retire after seeing that pick. Tua should retire.
Also, Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel should be fired after this.
And then we go and say the Jets are going to jet when the Jets just literally back-to-back classes have nailed the first round. But the new phrase needs to be the Miami Dolphins will Miami Dolphins.
With the 14th pick
of
the 2025 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren.
Oh my God, he did it! I told you.
That's just
no. I'm not surprised that they picked Tyler Warren because who's their tight end right now? Mo Alley Cox.
That makes so much sense.
That is exactly what Colts fans wanted.
That's
he was projected to go here.
I have seen Colts fans begging for this pick, trading up to get Tyler Warren. He fell in their laps despite a tight end being taken earlier in the first round. That's why the pick was in so quick. Because they ran it up to the podium. Couldn't believe their eyes that Tyler Warren just fell there.
Campbell's going here next.
He's going to look good in blue. He's going to look good in blue.
Campbell's projected to go here next. Jihad Campbell, he's projected to go. He's been projected to go here for like the longest time.
Unless they go something stupid. Sir.
I mean, I would probably personally go Mike Green here, but
dude, Mike Green's a dog.
But are you comfortable with some of the red flags with Mike Green?
I think so because look, I'm not trying to say that it's okay what he did. So for those who don't know, basically what happened was he loved a little bit too hard. Supposedly he had this ex who he was stalking a little bit, whatever. He loved too hard, right? I think we all make mistakes. I'm not saying that it's okay, but I think he made one mistake and it kind of bit him in the butt. Now, if more storylines come out, okay, but he messed up one time. One altercation to me, one messed up situation where he loves somebody a little bit too much. I'm not going to say that he's all of a sudden this bad person. Like, he is an absolute dog. Seeing him at the Senior Bowl, day 2, like Mike Green is a guy that was really good in terms of speed, but never turned that speed into power. And that's what some of the best edge rushers do. Had a really good rep at the Senior Bowl, day 2 against Josh Connerly, projected first-round left tackle, turned that speed into power and just bull rushed him back. Big Mike Green fan.
This is the biggest thing is this, especially they're young. Like, you make mistakes and you're going to learn from. We all were there. You make stupid. You don't think, especially when you're in relationships, you're clouded by the love and lust. But what the hell? Campbell chicken noodle soup and that's what I was trying to get out. Neil commented.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Neil Ray, big time supporter of the chat, Rob. And Neil says, Campbell chicken noodle soup at 4 fire. Hope we get Harris or Sawyer at 2. Sawyer projected to be a 3rd rounder, but I wouldn't hate him even if they got him at 2. Maybe we can trade back in for Golden.
Harris.
Panthers and Jags got no excuses now.
I don't want Harris. He runs like 3 routes.
Trey Harris?
I'm not a fan of him. I really am not. I don't.
I wouldn't select him in the 2nd. That's for sure.
I wouldn't take him at all. I don't like his separation at all. Look. Who said it? Was it Phil Perry or Tom? I forget who it was. The Patriots are trying to get separators, and he just doesn't come to me as a separator. I don't know who said it, but someone said that basically the Patriots are looking for a separator if they're going to get a wide receiver. That, to me, is Jalen Noel. That's Jaden Higgins. That's Matthew Golden. That's – my brain is not working. But those 3. This is kind of the range for Golden right now. And who –
What's a guy got to do to get invited to the Patriots draft party, man? Robert Spillane and Milton Williams are there right now. What the hell?
Yeah,
wow.
I would have taken the I would have
Colby,
taken.
You're gonna be there one day. Stop it, like
I
gotta do, man.
I could have taken the train to go to Foxborough, and then just
man. I bet that's a fun time there.
Actually, Will Johnson makes a lot of sense here for the damn Falcons.
They got AJ Terrell, but who's their other?
I feel like that defensive line, though, great defensive line class. Maybe they see, hey, let's go cornerback now because of the value, and then we go edge in the 2nd or 3rd round because there's going to be starters in rounds 2 and 3 because of how deep it is. But, they really have no pass rush. And they got rid of Grady Jarrett earlier in the offseason.
Also, they lost Matthew Judon.
Yeah, Judon's still free agent.
But like you said, this defensive line class is very deep. So why not go grab the best cornerback in this class? That would be a nasty secondary.
Yeah, AJ Terrell, Will Johnson, and Jesse Bates.
Rob, what about Jalen Royals? Jalen Royals, I like him. I don't love him. And who? Steve Smith, I believe, has him as his 7th ranked wide receiver in this class. By the way, Matthew Golden is his number 1. He put Travis Hunter in his own tier. Which is above Matthew Golden, but just purely off being a wide receiver, Matthew Golden was his number 1. So for Christ's sake, can we trade back into the 1st and get?
Hey Rob, do you wanna see something? You wanna see something awesome?
Yeah, what's up?
Shout out to my boys over at Catch the Blitz. They just dropped this jersey swap.
Nice.
That looks
good. That looks good.
Respectfully, mine's better. I'm joking.
you have one? I saw that. Oh yeah, I saw that earlier. You checked it,
Rob. Fire, man.
Show it, Rob.
Rob, here.
Respectfully.
10 out of 10. You got
Respectfully. Catch the Blitz. If you want to give me, I'll send this to you.
Catch the Blitz if you want it. I got you.
I got you. Hey. It's like this is this one shows a little bit of LSU in there. $5. I don't know. Give me a couple dollars. I got to keep the lights on because I got too many lights going on right now.
Yeah, Daddy
I'm
Rob.
underselling it.
So Rob, if we're saying that the Patriots should trade back up, who do you think we should trade with?
I've been saying since the beginning, Minnesota Vikings. Like,
Yeah, you don't want to trade up. Like, no reason to trade into the teens. No reason to trade up that high.
the 24th pick, because the Minnesota Vikings, you may not have to sway them as much. They got 4 picks overall in this draft. It just makes too much sense. And it's right before the Texans, who I think will take Emeka Egbuka if he's there. It just makes too much sense because he reminds me of like a Stephon Diggs. And why not get a guy that's kind of eerily similar to what you had? You basically pick up where you left off with Diggs or inserting him into the offense with Nico Collins. Luther Burden also makes a lot. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Luther Burden, I believe, commented on one of Jaden Daniels' posts. So I can't see Luther Burden dropping to – I know people projected him to go into the second round. This is a guy, by the way, guys. His quarterback is terrible. And his 2023 tape, he was the best wide receiver in all of college football. And the guy is – I mean, he does have some red flags, but that can also be another guy that we can go up there and get because his yak is insane. And I think in a Josh McDaniels offense with a guy that likes to run jet sweeps, I think Pop Douglas, yes, he can run those jet sweeps. But I'm with Pop Douglas, I'm concerned with him being his frame. He's 5'8", and he's had some concussions in his career. Luther Burden is going to run through people, and he's very. You want to talk about a guy that is great, the guy that's going to get angry. This is that dude. So that might be another option to trade back into the first for maybe Luther Burden. Look, right now at this point, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden, and Emeka Egbuka. Get one of them.
Dude, I love Egbuka. I think he's going to be I think maybe it's a hot take, but I think he's going to be the best receiver to come out of this class.
I don't think that's too much of a hot take because
I don't think it is either, personally.
He's the model of consistency. That guy can be a one. He can be. I think Ohio State is wide receiver U. Well, I don't understand how people just like – I mean, if Emeka Egbuka would have went in the top 10 to maybe the Panthers before they drafted Ted, would you have blinked and would you have batted an eye on that? No, because the guy is coming out of a prestigious college, which, by the way, guys, was it Smith, the rookie? Jeremiah Smith. He's a stud. So that's taking even more targets from Emeka Egbuka. Imagine if he's in an offense with Stephon Diggs. That's nasty. I would have preferred him with the Panthers. I think he would have been fine there instead of Ted McMillan.
And let's be honest too, there's been reports that Kayshon Boutte is going to be traded, or should maybe be traded, according to Adam Schefter. And honestly, do you go ahead and involve him in the move up to 24 with the Vikings? I mean, they need a deep threat.
Yeah, but I don't really know what value he has. I mean, here's a 5th round pick essentially is what you're saying.
I don't think you even get a 5th round pick because the guy is he's very vocal for someone that doesn't have anything to go off of.
1 year of production.
And he's going to the sidelines and saying, I don't know why I have to tell them to give me the ball. Brother, you're in a wide receiver core that doesn't really have much substance. So
and the Vikings have good wide receivers. They got Justin Jefferson. They got Jordan Addison. They got PJ Hawkinson.
They don't need an Emeka Egbuka. They don't need a Luther Burden for the Vikings.
What's taking them?
This pick is taking a minute here.
I wonder if that means they're trading it.
What are they doing so stupid?
This has gone faster than last year, at least.
It is. Honestly, they should.
It took 3 hours last year to get
this far.
Honestly, they should go wide receiver here. They should go with Burden. They're going
to go Alec Ayumanor because they're just a meme at this point.
See, I don't like him. If the Patriots drafted him, Ayumanor,
I don't like him at all.
I'm
you know that Steve Smith has him as his 20th ranked wide receiver. 20th.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Smith pointed out Cooper Kupp and many other wide receivers. That is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. If he's saying this guy is that guy, what he says is gospel in my point, in my view. And his number 1 is Matthew Golden. His number 2 is Emeka Egbuka. So get one of them.
Get one of them.
What was his 3? I think his 3 was Luther Burden. Let me go look it up, the video real quick.
pick is in. We're just waiting to see what it is.
So they're definitely not
Under.
trading down.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
they are not.
build around Michael Penix here, you know?
The Falcons pick. I'm gonna laugh if they do something stupid for the
This
third
should be
time.
like Matthew Golden or Gray Zabel, but
Unless they go like
maybe they go defense.
unless they go
Waiting to hear.
The thing is, Young Savage, he did like Polk, but when you got a guy like Taekwon Underwood training him that didn't have success at the next level as a wide receiver himself, how are you to expect someone like Polk to develop? Tyler
I
Hughes
think
came
people
out
hate
of
on Polk too much.
Yeah, you have Tyler Hughes.
I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't bowed out on him, and the reason why I haven't bowed out on him, he was getting open with the best of them, and that one catch he made through two 49ers defenders was insane, and it just didn't count. It was
Breaking
insane.
news.
Oh, we got it?
With the 15th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Walker.
Wow.
I mean, I like the pick.
It's okay.
I mean, you get your there's a lot of feedback. Whose mic is that? Jalen Walker makes a lot of sense because, like I said earlier, he's going to be a guy that's going to set the tone for the defense. He's going to be your leader. He's going to be that guy that's not going to cause any trouble. I mean, it's a great pick.
You can drop back into coverage.
I mean, yeah, he's going to be a guy that, like, he's a tweener. So you can basically line him up just about anywhere on the defense.
That just fits their defensive system. A guy that you can put as a stand-up outside linebacker, drop him into coverage. You can set him off on the edge. I think it's going to be more of an edge in the NFL, but a guy who his comp is like a Kyle Van Noy. It's like like a white.
Like I said, pass rushing. Sorry for cutting you up, Colby. His snaps, 195 snaps, which was the most. PFF grade 83.6, the highest. Pressures 34, tied for the most. Hurries 22, second most. Win percentage 17.2%, second most. This is a steal at 15. I just don't know if I would have gone here, but I don't hate the pick.
The last 4 years they went offense in the first round.
I think it would have been great if he would have fell to the Bengals, though, because God, that Bengals defense sucks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have to go defense the entire draft.
I think Mike Green makes a lot of sense for the Bengals.
I was just about to say, Rob, this is a Bengals pick.
Mike Green.
They also need help in the interior.
You know how to raise some minds, Rob.
Or Donovan as a Rocket. That'd make a lot of sense for them.
Oh, yeah.
Who's there?
My prediction's still on the table, people. I made this prediction like 6 hours ago.
Walter Nolan would be like the
hours,
Bengals
like 2 hours
pick.
ago.
It'd be such a Bengals thing to do.
Young Savage, I honestly think that James Pierce would fall to the second round. He's got talent, but I don't know.
His production fell off this year. This guy was regarded as the best pass rusher in the draft until like this year. I still think he has that in him. I just think that like the red flags are kind of glaring. But I just think it makes a lot of sense for him to fall to the Ravens, because what better place to be than a guy that team that just or the Steelers. But I don't see the Steelers going defense because of the fact that like they're infatuated with Shedeur Sanders. Which honestly, looking at this board right now, the only team that I can see drafting Shedeur Sanders at this point is the Seahawks, but they invested God knows how much money in Sam. That's another thing. Sam Darnold, props to you. You took a page out of the Kirk Cousins page of stealing money from teams. Like, God, you're not that good of a quarterback. You're throwing to Jesus Christ, Jay Jettis and Jordan Addison. So I think pick 18 would make so much sense for Shedeur Sanders.
I could also see wait, who's back? Okay, as I was saying, for the Seahawks, I could see them going wide receiver since they did lose DK Metcalf.
You're right. Luther Burden makes a lot of sense there. Actually, no,
unless Matthew Golden falls to them.
No, they need an X.
Wait, who is the wide receiver 2 for the Cardinals? Is it Wilson?
I think the Cardinals are fine at wide receiver. I think that you made a good point. The Seahawks need an X. Matthew Golden makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah.
And then Bengals, they have to go defense. Their defense has been
It's either Jihad Campbell, Mike Green, or
they got to go.
Or Donovan Azaraku, because that's just those three players make too much sense for there.
Yeah, because of the Trey Hendrickson trade rumors going
Jihad
on.
Campbell's he's a freak. So I mean, if the Bengals get him, that just makes a lot of sense. I don't know what the hell the Buccaneers are going to do. Like, what do the Buccaneers need? They need. All right, Rob. I agree.
Who's the other type? No,
Cardinals.
I can't see their needs because of Neil's comment. I appreciate
we got the Cardinals.
They have made their selection. I'm waiting to see the name.
Guard, D-line, and cornerback. Will Johnson then.
Yeah, get Will Johnson or maybe safety.
They should go Walter Nolan, honestly. Walter Nolan or go Jade Barron.
I think Buccaneers just got to go defense. Broncos, I could see them going tight end. I don't know, but they signed Evan Ingram.
But then again, who else at tight end is really worth taking here in the first round? Like
Mason Taylor.
Good point.
Mason Taylor has like the smoothest. He's just so smooth. The guy doesn't really lose speed when he's catching the football, or when he's running routes. I think Mason Taylor would make a lot of sense. I know this is a guy that was projected third round, but he's kind of jumped up.
Yes, I agree. Mason Taylor can be a first round selection easily.
I just think I like that he doesn't lose speed. I really like Mason Taylor would make a lot of sense.
I agree. By the way, shout out to Neil for the $2 donation. Hold up.
Of the 2025 NFL Draft,
Johnson.
The Arizona Cardinals select
Walter
Nolan.
Oh, shoot. I did it again. Look at that. I told you, Rob. I told you, man. There's something in me. I don't know what it is. I just see the future. It's crazy.
It could make sense.
Marine, get your mind into place, Rob.
I don't know. I'm slacking this year. Hey, listen, my Emeka Ibuka take is still on the table. Don't come for me. It's still there.
Like all your chips have been pushed into the table, bro. You gotta go ahead and put
I'm sorry. I don't know other teams' needs more. Look, I would have drafted Will Johnson. That's just me. You know what?
It's all right, man.
Just because they need to get their grades up with their team in terms of like their facility. So why not go get Walter Nolan? I would have grabbed Will Johnson, who hasn't allowed a touchdown since like 2023, and the damn Cardinals allow a ton of touchdowns. So why not go get the best cornerback in the draft? No, but what the hell do I know?
Hey, man, real quick, shout out to Neil for the $2 donation. He says, Rob, I agree. Trade back in. Get Egbuka, Golden, or Luther Burden. For me, I like Egbuka. I've been saying this the entire time. I've been saying this for a while. I've gotten some hate. Yes, he might be a little redundant on what they have, but this is a guy that you're confident can be a wide receiver 2 for you. He can be a low-end, like wide receiver 1. You know he's going to produce. He's like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a Tyler Boyd. He's a Garrett Wilson, right? He's the type of receiver that would just flourish under Josh McDaniels. He's been talked about as a first-round prospect for 3 years. I think people just kind of have prospect fatigue. A lot of people like those prospects where like they kind of come out of the woodwork last second, like the guys, it's like recency bias, right? And I think that's why people are so high on Matthew Golden, but Matthew Golden's never put up 1,000 yards. Matthew Golden just ran a great 40 time and everybody started to talk about him. I think Egbuka, like I said, is going to be the best wide receiver to come out of this draft class. But shout out to Neil for the $2 donation. Like always, guys, if you want to get your question, comment, concern, a guaranteed answer, make sure to send in a super chat. Shout out to Felipe, my boy, big time supporter, who comes in with a $5 donation saying, if it wasn't for Tua being a concussion away from spaghetti brain, that would be an A+ pick. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. That is true. Like he's not a bad player. It's not a bad selection. But again, because of just how bad that O-line is, how many questions they have, given where Tua is with his history and concussions and being injured, you got to build around your quarterback, because if you're going to succeed at all, and we saw this with the Dolphins last year, if you are going to succeed, if they're going to be a playoff team, they need Tua to stay healthy, because when he doesn't, they get screwed.
Going back to Emeka Ibuka, you saying him in the slot, look, guys, Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas is he's a gadget player.
Yeah.
Polk, we don't know what he is. Javon Baker, we don't know what he is. Matt Collins is a reliable guy, but he's not really anything of substance. Stephon Diggs is coming off an ACL injury. Emeka Egbuka in the slot makes a ton of sense, Colby. That you're not wrong for thinking that. Look, until I see something at a pop, here's my thing. Patriots fans are thinking with their hearts and not their heads. Our wide receivers outside of Stephon Diggs on other teams are 3s and 4s. Mm-hmm. So drafting Emeka Egbuka instantly catapults our wide receiver core to be better because then it becomes a domino effect. I think he would probably be not probably. I think he would be our best wide receiver on our roster. So then Stephon Diggs, and then maybe not maybe.
Well, for him to learn behind Stephon Diggs too, given the type of receiver he is, would be very beneficial to Egbuka. And he's what too? He's like 6 foot, 6'1", so he has the size to play outside too. He doesn't strictly have to be a slot.
I would like him in the slot more.
I do too,
maybe make Stephon Diggs a Z or an X.
He's 6'1", Rob. Like he can play the outside too.
205 as well. This is a big guy.
And he's I know you said Stephon Diggs can help him with route running, but does he really have to? The guy's routes are polished.
He doesn't need to, but with Stephon Diggs being one of the best technicians we've seen in the league for a while, like
iron sharpens iron. Why not add in some nuances to his game? Why not?
It could only help.
But another thing, guys, I know he's not saying it, but Colby's coming off a sickness right now. And the MVP in the room right now, just fighting through it, trying to give you guys draft coverage. If you're not already, how many people we have in the chat? It says 170 on here. How many likes we got right now? I swear to it says 79. Am I reading that right?
It's right now 82.
Okay. Like it up, people. That's how you push this content. That's how you
get it up to 100, boys and girls.
Exactly.
Yeah, 519 people watching right now. 344 on Twitter, 175 on YouTube.
How many of my followers in here? If you love me, and you love what I do, you should love this guy and love what he does. Go like up to get it to 100.
Breaking news. 95 so far.
Got some breaking news.
Yes, with the 17th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart.
Ooh, whoa, wow.
That is
Nice. They need to prioritize defense.
That's a project. I don't. My biggest thing with Shamar Stewart is this is the guy I'm thinking about. Yeah, it is the guy I'm thinking about. He likes to engage offensive line too much, and he doesn't. His package of moves to get around offensive linemen is a lot. This is a project. I believe he had an RAS score of like a perfect RAS score, if I'm not mistaken, Colby. He's
very athletic, yeah.
He's a freak. The problem with Shamar Stewart is the freak doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He's averaged, 4.5 sacks per year, if I'm not mistaken? Or was it a sack and a half? I forget what the numbers. What was the numbers?
Wow. 2 sacks per season.
So he's consistent on that end, but it's a project.
Better against the run.
Yeah, but my biggest thing is he engages offensive line too much instead of using his athleticism to get around them.
Yeah, I think they needed more upside in terms of pass rush getting to the quarterback. I would have went Mike Green. I would have went Donovan Ezra-Rocker, to be completely honest with you.
No,
I mean, people
James
are sleeping on
Pierce would have been a pick. I don't know how I feel about this. I think Shamar Stewart, he's very, very raw, extremely raw, and you're having a defense that they were giving up so many points last year. This could turn into a bust. I don't know why they did this pick. I think he's definitely a first-round talent, but based off of the landing position and just the holes that you have on defense, this pick is just a big question mark to me. Am I wrong on this one, Colby? I just don't. I see him engage offensive linemen too much and not use his athleticism to get around them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like we're saying he's a bad player. We're not saying like he's not a
his
first-round selection.
package of
There's
moves.
just better players that were available, right? So if you wanted to go edge this bad, why did you not go with one of the better players on the board? Why did you not, address one of the other positions that are still left on the board? Don't love that for them. I would have went, Jahad Campbell. I mean, that's another guy that I think would have made a ton of sense for them. Mike Green's on the board, Hey, Malachi Starks, damn, they need some safety help. So,
and I mean, if you didn't want Mike Green because of his red flags, why not get Donovan Ezra-Rocker, who's a freak?
Yeah.
Okay, going back to the Seahawks pick, they could go multiple. They could go multiple.
Rumor
ways.
has it they're trading down.
Oh,
The
who are they
Seahawks.
trading down with?
Which
don't
by
know.
the way, the Seahawks have 5 picks in the top 100.
I'm curious who the
Wow.
Seahawks.
I thought they were a team that would make
Sweet.
multiple selections in the first. Be honest with you.
Bella just she's the Adam Schefter of the NFL. She just said the Patriots gonna make a trade for right here. You hear her? She's barking her head off. This is right here.
Right here at 18.
Bella Belichick. Bella Belichick. Come on, Bella. Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden.
They're just showing Shador on the screen right now.
Emeka Ibuka. Emeka
Please,
Ibuka.
Lord of Heavens, please send us Emeka Ibuka.
Bella's looking at me like I'm a psychopath.
We kind of are if you think about it. We're very crazy fans.
Waiting to hear more.
So they are truly trading this pick.
Well, we don't. They're here. The insiders are saying that we're hearing that they're talking about trading down.
Don't mind me. I was just chatting with my roommate. Like, but yeah.
No,
going back to what the
This is a safe space, man. You don't
Well,
need to be professional all the way, brother. We're all having fun here. That's the whole point of this, people. Have fun.
Well, yeah.
Have fun.
I like to keep the dorm to myself from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, for sure.
Interesting
man.
enough, I'm actually in a different dorm compared to like where I was like for like the games, because the dorm I was in the other room, but yeah.
So Rob, my question to you would be, looking at that Bengals pick, would you still trade Trey Hendrickson, or do you look at that selection and say you got to keep him now?
I don't know, man. You could have someone learn. Trey Hendricks can teach the kid, but the thing is, though, you have like no money. Like they might have their hands tied to the point where they have to move off of him, but they need so much on defense. Their defense is it's terrible. So I don't know. Like I said, man, I don't. He's not a bad player. I think his upside is almost limitless. He could be the best pass rusher in this draft. The problem is he has the physical attributes. I mean, if you want to learn from someone, Trey Hendrickson makes sense, but you're going to have to satisfy that pause. You're going to have to satisfy that guy and get him his money. But do you pay T. Higgins? How are you going to go and do that unless Joe Burrow somehow clears up some money to make that happen?
Looks like that is not true. The Seahawks look like they're going to pick.
Ooh.
Okay. I could see them going wide receiver or defensive line because they're defense.
I know I said Luther Burden, but I think Matthew Golden makes more sense here.
They could also go defense. We shall see.
The reason why I say Matthew Golden is because you want to get a guy he's going to be a culture guy, and I think that Matthew Golden, just like I think I saw some of the organizations he does. He's just so many good things I've heard about him. So like this just makes sense to pick him here.
What if they go Emeka Ibuka because there you go. That makes sense too. But because you got the reunion with him and JSN.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of redundant though. They're eerily similar, so I don't know how I would feel about that.
Hey man, real quick, shout out to McGoat, who has been a member of the channel ever since we started memberships, and he just gifted a membership. So for those who don't know, you can become a member here. It's $4 a month. You get exclusive benefits, help support the channel. But something cool that you can also do is you can gift memberships to other people, which means that basically you pay for a month of memberships, and the first person who clicks on it gets it. And it looks like Neil Ray.
When you're ready.
Perfect. Neil Ray looks like our boy got the free gift membership for the Patriots Global channel for the month, brought to you by Mick Goat. So
not a more deserving person than Neil, who's been here since
Mick Goat, man, for gifting membership to Neil Ray, man. Congratulations to Neil for getting the free membership, man.
So breaking news, with the 18th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zabel.
Yes!
Let's go.
Yes! Thank
Good
you.
for
That
him,
makes
bro.
so much sense. I've mocked him to them in almost every mock draft I've done. That is a beautiful selection. Tackle, guard, center versatility, the best interior offensive lineman at the Senior Bowl, and that was the first time he switched to playing interior of the offensive line. Imagine this guy having a whole offseason to truly develop there. Absolute dog. They can play him at guard, play him at center. Beautiful, beautiful selection. A+. A freaking plus there. I mean, that's where the Cowboys should have gone.
And that's the thing, man. When have we ever heard that the Seahawks nail an offensive line pick?
Let me see. Wait, I know Charlie Cross is also on the offensive line, but I want to see who else is also on the offensive line for the.
I have to say something real quick. Colby, what's the lottery numbers for today? Because clearly my crystal ball ain't working today. What's the lottery? Because this guy's been nailing picks all day. Miss Cleo over here.
Hey, man, I got you.
Tell me
He
now
knows
for
all.
your free reading.
I'll text you the numbers, Rob. I got you.
Colby knows all. Colby knows
Got you, bro.
Probably
I'm
all
telling
that
you, man,
homework is done from doing Draftaholics.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man, every week. Which, by the way, next thing we're doing on Draftaholics is we're going to be breaking down every single team's official draft class. So make sure you guys subscribe to Roundtable Sports' main YouTube channel. Draftaholics live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern following the draft. So next Thursday, we're going to start breaking down each division, each team's complete draft, break down our thoughts, and give our grades on it. So it's me, it's Dosa Dion, the Lions creator, it's Derek, our Colts creator, and Bro Schmo, who I know a lot of you know here on YouTube, draft expert here on YouTube. He'll also be there with us.
So looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they need edge, they need linebacker, they need D-back. This is actually a great spot for them. They have really good players here. You've got Will Johnson, you got Jihad Campbell, and you've got Mike Green.
It could be Mike Green, but I think Jihad Campbell makes so much freaking sense given that system.
Look, Colby said it. That's happening. He said it's happening.
Exactly.
I do think that Walker would make more sense here. If he was here, obviously he goes to the Falcons, but I think Jihad Campbell can serve that same role. I mean, look how much better he got on a year-to-year basis. This guy is developing.
Jesus.
Oh my word.
He went from
That is like huge progression for
a guy that can drop into coverage too. He was first in the nation in coverage stops this past year. And
hopefully Todd Bowles
utilize
this guy wisely if they get him.
Imagine like what he can turn into with that type of progression. That's insane.
Dude, can you believe this? A linebacker at 6'3", 244, his touchdown to interception ratio was 1-for-1.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Touchdown to interception ratio?
Damn. For a linebacker, that's wild.
Why
Tampa
does
Bay has
Donovan
made their
Azaraku make
selection.
sense
Waiting to
here?
hear the name.
I'd love that for them. I'd love that for them. I love that for any team, to be honest with you.
I think Amari Hampton.
Amari Hampton at 20, right? I was just thinking
yeah, bro. Like,
think of that.
Yeah,
this is why we do the post game shows for you guys. Like, just on the same wavelength, except for on my crystal ball. It's like I need to go take it to the shop. It's not working today.
Broncos need
It's a little dirty. That's all, you know.
I think Shador Sanders is going 21 as well.
21. They could also go.
The Chargers need wide receiver.
Oh my gosh! Imagine the Chargers getting Ibuka.
No, I wouldn't even go at Buka. I would go Matthew. I keep saying Matthew Golden's name. At some point, you say his name like Beetlejuice, he'll pop up.
Magic Golden and
the best, probably one of the best wide receivers in this draft, and he's falling like crazy over Ted McMillan. I'm respectfully
Golden going to the best team. Interesting.
Patriots, pick up the phone.
We know the Bucs have made a selection.
This is starting to get to the point where like we should pick up the phone.
Yes.
24, man.
We're waiting to hear. We're waiting to hear what the Bucs are doing.
My biggest thing is when you go and look at the list, Green Bay's 100% drafting Egbuka makes so much sense for Green Bay.
Holy crap! Yes.
I know they're wide receivers.
We have to jump up to.
Wow.
Oh
maybe
my
20.
word.
Damn it. The Steelers are not trading out of that pick.
I could also see a world in which, could you imagine they trade up? Everybody's like, oh my God, it's wide receiver. And then they go edge rusher.
Please don't do that to me. Who?
With the 19th pick of the 2025 NFL
Campbell.
Draft, The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Emeka Egbuka.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What? Wait, don't they have
Wow.
Mike Evans? They have McMillan. and they have
Chris Godwin's coming off a major injury.
I'm stumped on that one, man. You got me there.
Wow.
You got me there because they also drafted a wide receiver last year.
That's
Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, I'm about to say Jalen Polk's teammate, Jalen McMillan. And he actually developed really, really well when Mike Evans and Chris Godwin went down. So
I think that's an insurance pick.
Yeah, that's an insurance policy.
Chris Godwin's coming off a major injury. He doesn't need to come back immediately.
Don't they also have Trey Palmer, who was another wide receiver?
This pick don't make sense to me.
Like, let me just count how many wide receivers the Buccaneers have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There goes my prediction out the damn window.
11 wide receivers for the Bucs. Oh my word,
bro! But their defense, I don't understand this. They put so much money. The Buccaneers have put so much money into that offense that they don't have cap space to address the defense. The defense is why they fell down the stretch of this past season. They have one of the better wide receiver cores in the league, and you spend your first round pick on offense. Why are you not addressing the defensive side of the football? Your offense is good enough.
Get it,
Colby. We can't ignore the fact that the defensive line in this class is really good, man. So maybe that's what their way of thinking. Maybe they think Chris Godwin is. You don't need to rush him into coming back, man.
But they also need quarterback. They need help everywhere on that defense. They need help.
I think Will Johnson would have made a ton of sense. The fact that Will Johnson is still falling is crazy to me.
See, I have Jahdae Barron.
The guy hasn't allowed a touchdown in 2 years.
See, I think he's progressively taking a step back each year. I don't know. I think Jahdae Barron is he's got to play all over the defensive formation. He reminds me of Stephon Gilmore.
What's that stupid truck?
I think the Vikings might take
Broncos.
They
gotta take Jahan Campbell because they lost Cody Bart to the Saints. So if they get him.
Amari Hampton's been literally projected here for the longest time.
Come on.
But if they get Jahan Campbell, that would be
this is either running back or wide receiver. This is Amari and Hampton, or it's who's still left a wide receiver, or it's gonna be Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden would be sick.
I hope it's Jack Betch. Which honestly,
you say Jack Betch?
Yeah, the thing is, he's a bigger wide receiver. This would make sense. I mean, it's a huge reach. But
Neil gifted another.
Shout out to Neil. Neil became a member of the channel because of Mick Goat's free membership, and Neil is sending it forward. And Neil also gifted one Patriots Global membership for the next month. Let's see who got that one.
Who is it?
Let's see. So it looks like Four Nation. Shout out to Four Nation. He received a free gifted membership by Neil Ray for the next month, man.
What a generous.
How's that work? You spin a wheel
what
or
something? What a generous man. What a generous man.
Basically, so you can donate as many memberships as you want. You can donate 151, as many as you want. And basically, when somebody donates it, it's like the first person to click it gets it. It's like first come, first serve.
I see. So there you go. It's a good thing I asked that question because I'm ignorant to this. So if you guys want to gift someone a subscription or a membership, why not? Today's a good day to put it forward. And Neil, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you guys know about Neil's an OG for not just me. He's an OG for Colby, and one of the most nicest people you'll ever meet. The guy doesn't have a bad bone in his body, and I love him to death. I have him in my phone. That's how much I don't give out my number to anybody. And that dude right there is a class act as a Patriots fan. So, and I'm telling you right now, if you wanted that's something that I wish more Pats fans were like. He's just, I legitimately love him to death.
Hey, man, and now, as you guys can see in the chat, both Four Nation and Neil Ray, they now have access to the exclusive Patriots Global emojis that they're spamming in the chat, and they also have the official Patriots Global logo next to their name every single time they comment. These are some of the perks you get when you become a member.
Nice.
Man, shout out to Neil, man. Shout out to Neil and Mick Goat for being generous in the chat today, man. Awesome. Taking care of the community, baby. Let's go.
He's awesome. He really
I'm really not surprised with those two. I'm not.
He's awesome. in last year's.
All I ever heard about throughout the whole season was McGoat doing donos. And Neil, I mean, like,
Neil's
the
Neil,
dude
man.
is just a class act.
Neil's a legend.
Neil's the GOAT.
He made me want to bang my head against it because we got in an argument the other last year. But like, I
Classic
still
Neil,
love
man.
him to death.
Classic Neil.
I should invite Neil to come to my show. Like tomorrow.
The guy
I'm
has
predicting-
knowledge. The guy is great at what he can easily hang with anybody in terms of Patriots knowledge.
Big announcement for my channel. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Patriots Talk, I will be doing a day one recap of the first round picks and then projecting up who we should pick at the second round and the third round. I'm still trying to decide if
I like that.
if I'm gonna try to decide if I want to like host a day two live watch party. It will decide.
Yeah, man.
Shout
Those things are
out
long,
your
man.
channel, brother. What is your channel? What's it called?
It's Patriots Talk. I've had some awesome guests on my show. I had MA Football Guy on my channel. I had Chris Herrera on my channel. I have my boy DF Forever on my channel. The best moderator
Wow.
ever.
Yeah.
What? So it's called Patriots Talk. Let me go subscribe real
It's
quick.
Patriots Talk. It has the Patriots logo and you know what? I'll post the link in the description so everybody can look at it. That will be
Yeah, there you go.
Let me switch over. Let's see if I can do that.
Patriots Talk.
Switch
Still waiting to
accounts.
see what the Broncos.
Is it
are-
Patriots Talk podcast?
No, it's just Patriots Talk.
So
Hold on, let me
one thing
me-
you're gonna get in a little bit of a not trouble, but like in terms of like getting some traction. I'm not saying you have to change your channel name, but Tom Curran has Patriots Talk as his podcast name.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right, but his channel's not Patriots Talk, so
Is it? So the podcast is called. I'm trying to go subscribe. I can't. find it.
I think the podcast is just
I could also change it to the DTN show, but
yo, and you know what? I
Dude,
should probably know this because I when I was at the Super Bowl, right, and I was at Radio Row doing Media Week, I actually ran into Phil Perry, and him and I were talking. So we're gonna have him on the podcast at some point. But I should probably know that. he follows me on Twitter now, so I should probably make sure that I know these in case he's watching. But you know, it's all right. I think it's NBC Sports Boston, right?
Can you pin
I'll
your,
be
your
sponsored.
channel?
I think that's it.
I think I send it in the chat. Hopefully everybody sees.
You can
it.
also send it in the private chat.
Like
DTN,
I'm
that
also
makes it
me and
easier.
I know me and Ashton are moderators, so I think that that link is I think
I don't
everybody-
see why not. Like there should look. My biggest thing is, and I posted this to my story today, and I stand by this. Everybody in this community should be a positive influence if you have the platform to do it. And that means helping people out because at some point, like me and Colby have known each other since we had like 2,000 or 3,000 followers each.
I think I knew you before I actually started Patriots Global.
Like
we have a new member. We have a new member.
Another one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's HP.
HP.
Hey,
With the
shout
20
out to HP for becoming a new YouTube member. You have now exclusive access to the Patriots Global emojis, priority reply to comments, and you, of course, get the Patriots Global logo next to your name every single time you comment. Big shout out to HP for becoming a YouTube member. Also want to give a big shout out to Diehard Pats fan. Comes in here with a big $10 donation. Says, PG, it actually selects the gifted memberships randomly, but it's based on people that are in the chat talking randomly, but it is based on people that are talking in the chats. Congrats to the winner. All I know is I actually found
We
this
have
out
breaking
doing-
news.
doing the AFC East roundtable, so I thought that it was just whoever selected it first, but maybe it is random. Either way, congratulations to the winners, man. If you want to be a member, make sure to become a member, man. So what's our breaking news? What do we got?
Fire away, Tom.
20th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jahdae Barron.
Whoa.
Jahdae Barron. Interesting.
They go
Wow.
Jahdae. So I got Jahdae Barron.
That's
This
the
is
best secondary in the
Over
league.
Will Johnson.
That is the best secondary in the league.
not Jahdae. I mean, I was thinking Campbell. Excuse me. Jahdae Barron, though. I don't.
how do you even pass against that defense?
But here's my thing. I don't because they had one of the best cornerback tandems in the league last year. They got Pat Surtain, and then they got a white cornerback whose name is escaping me, and he did
That's
really
probably
well.
why.
Look him up. Do you want me to look him up? I'll gladly do so.
Yeah, look him up. His name's escaping me, but he was really good as a cornerback too. I mean,
Let
great
me look-
secondary now.
Cooper DeJean's brother.
No, I think let me
Probably
just
right.
list off. No, not Brandon Jones. So there's Patrick Surtain, there's Tremont Smith, Riley Moss, Damari Mathis,
Yes, there it is.
and then Chris Abrams-Drain. That's the only cornerback.
Riley Moss. Chris Abrams-Drain was a great selection last year too. So I'm not gonna lie. I don't it's a good pick. I don't understand the pick unless somebody's expendable now. Are we trading one of these guys?
and Hampton is falling. What in the world?
Do you know what's interesting?
It's the
Matthew
value of
Golden
running backs.
and Jahan Campbell are falling.
It's the value of running back.
Shador
man.
Sanders is going to the Steelers.
Okay,
Unless
what if the
they take
Patriots
Jackson Dart,
trade up
which
to
I don't
24 and the Patriots reunite Amari and Hampton and Drake May? Man, there we go. Okay, you didn't get Jesse, but you got a running back.
We shall see. We shall see.
Then Ramondre Stevenson should be on his way to the DMV and getting a new
Hey, man,
job
I told you guys, though, Jahdae Barron was going to be the first cornerback taken off.
No, but seriously, Ramondre Stevenson has been outperformed by his backup running back two years in a row.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
With the 21st pick of the
that was quick.
2025 NFL Draft,
Shador Sanders.
the Pittsburgh Steelers select Derek Harmon.
Oh, Shador not still taken. No, that pick was made quick. So what that tells me, they didn't.
I guess it's not time yet. Nobody understands the reference yet? I don't have my watch on. It ain't time yet.
It ain't tough. I'm just calling you, Rob. Okay,
I mean, I think the Rams
here.
make sense next for Shador Sanders
I
behind
like
Matthew
Jackson
Stafford.
Dart there more. I like Jackson Dart to the Rams more than I like Shador. Is there a world in which Shador falls today too? Because multiple reports came out that Shador Sanders, multiple teams view Shador Sanders as a second-round pick and not a first. Also, Shador Sanders hurt his draft stock because Shador Sanders refused to have any real throwing sessions. He didn't really participate in the combine. He barely participated at his pro day. That's dropping him down draft boards because he views himself higher than teams are viewing him, right? He's so full of himself that he doesn't think that he needs to throw to prove a point. He could call today too, man.
So I remembered this, and I wonder if this was an underlying factor. During the game against Stanford, when they were up, I believe, 28-7, during halftime, he posted a merch link.
That's crazy.
I'm being serious.
And
he purchased a merch link, I believe, at halftime. And then they wind up losing that game. So, I mean, they were saying that he was interviewing, and they were saying he was cocky, he was all these things. And there's you can be confident, but sometimes, I mean, like like I said, that Stanford game where he's posting the merch link at halftime, that is a huge red flag. That doesn't sound someone that's invested. That sounds like entitlement.
Wait, what was the selection again for the Steelers?
Derek Harmon.
Derek Harmon. Where is Derek Harmon on this thing?
He's
In the
Oregon
abyss.
defensive tackle.
Wow, he's lower than I thought.
To be honest, PFF is not always correct about.
Oh, no. Look, teams are not going off of PFF's prediction. That's why in PFF Simulator, it literally says public board versus PFF board, and you can like change it.
It's not a terrible pick. I wouldn't have gone Shador Sanders here, in my opinion. But I mean,
they did need help on that line though. Cam Hayward is about to retire,
or maybe safety. Like I don't know.
Maybe they think that if they address the trenches, that it'll help. Who was it in that backfield? Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick, yeah.
All I know is that, and Mike Vrabel has said this, you win from the trenches, and the Philadelphia Eagles was a glowing example of that. Because when you went and looked at the Chiefs, they looked overwhelmed. You had Joe Thuney playing at a left guard, playing at left tackle. So, and that's my biggest fear, though, again, going back to Will Campbell. If he turns into a Joe Thuney, who's really, really good. So if he turns into him, I wouldn't be upset with that. But playing left tackle against the beasts that were on the Eagles, he didn't fare well.
Hey, man, real quick, shout out to my boy, Stephen Roy, $2 donation, comes in, just showing love, says, hey, y'all, hope you guys are well. Stephen, we hope you are well also. 5th year watching. So Steven has been here since the first ever Patriots Global Watch Party, man. You are an absolute legend, Steven. I don't remember. I feel like you did. I think have you done every single one?
Last year I missed.
Last year, yeah, last year you were doing something else. So, but for the most part, you've I think hopped into like at some
Never
point every single
again.
one of these.
Never again. I'll be here every
I think
single one.
you've come into pretty much every single one of these for the most part. So, man, shout out to Steven, man, coming in showing love back here for the annual Patriots Global Watch Party, baby. Let's go.
I might cry if Golden goes to the Chargers.
Chargers could also go
It just
interior
makes so much
offensive
sense.
line.
Could you imagine Mason Graham?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or not? No, I was saying Mason Graham. I'm saying Mason Taylor. Excuse me. Could you imagine Mason Taylor goes here?
Yeah, because
That makes a ton of sense too.
Mason Taylor or Mike Green make a ton of sense.
I could also see
These dogs.
Chargers going interior offensive line because their tackles are good, but their interior is awful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can we go back to the fact that I think Justin Herbert is supremely overrated? The guy, how
No,
much
for
help do
sure.
you need?
I like Herbert.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, he rates him. Everybody rates him like he's a top 5 quarterback,
Yeah,
but he's had so much help throughout the years. I know his wide receiver core was barren last year, but before last year, he's had everybody and their mother, and then loses to the Jaguars in embarrassing fashion. Like
yes, and then the
he's-
Texans.
when the lights are the brightest with Justin Herbert, he's a choke artist. He is Phillip Rivers. He really is
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. But Phillip Rivers was like one of the better quarterbacks all time. Like Phillip Rivers was a good quarterback.
Okay.
Then again, they never.
So when the moments were the biggest, what did Phillip Rivers do?
I think that more so had to do with the team as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I don't view quarterbacks. I don't view like team wins as a quarterback stat personally.
I do.
Because like you
I
could
think
have
having
an
LaDainian
elite
Tomlinson
offense.
and Vincent Jackson, dude. Come on.
You could put up 40 points a game, but if your defense is bum, then they put up 45 points. You know, you lost the game still. But is it your fault? Probably not.
What were we talking about? That was 2022, Rob. 2023, he ended up getting a season-ending injury. What were we talking about? Colby GOAT. Yeah, 100%. He's the GOAT. Please don't draft Golden here. Dude, it's getting so close to the pick. Golden would, do not let Golden go. Who would make sense for Golden? The Bills. The
Packers.
Texans. The Packers. For Christ's sake. Can we trade here? That
Who
might be
else?
too rich, right? 22?
22? Yeah, it's a little too rich for me.
There's about to be a run on wide receivers right here. Luther Burden's still there.
Luther Burns still there.
Luther Burden, Matthew Golden. Can you bring up the wide receiver board real quick, Colby?
You know,
Yeah, I got you.
I know Jaden Higgins still on the board.
I was just about to say, yes.
Is on the board.
Okay, so let's start. Kyle Williams. He's gonna come. He's gonna be a later pick, but if I'm not mistaken,
Dogs.
Steve Smith. I watched Steve Smith's video earlier. He had him as a top 5 wide receiver in this class.
Yeah, very underrated. I know Dan said that he thinks Kyle Williams is going to be the second best wide receiver to come out of this class.
If you don't get a hand on him, he's running by you. But that's the thing. If you get a hand on him, he's not going to run by you. But what a better, I would love, I'm saying, here's my thing, man. Matthew Golden, Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins, or Kyle Williams. Restrepo makes so much sense in a Josh McDaniels offense. He's your Julian Edelman. But please give me one of those 4 wide receivers. I will cry. Please, for the love of God. I wouldn't trade up for a Kyle Williams in the first round. Or would you go Jalen Noel in the first?
No. Jalen Noel's good, but I think that's a bit of a
Noel's
push.
a reach.
I'm talking about
He's a projected third, and I think he'll go in the second, but a projected third
second,
going in the
late
first would be a bit much.
I'm
Because
talking
he's
about
never going to be a wide receiver 1, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. Look, we have to get one of these guys. Jaden Higgins can be easily a wide receiver 1.
Drake May responded to NFL Network posting on Twitter saying all happy tears of Will Campbell at Patriots, and Drake May quote tweeted it and said, "Love this guy already." Let's
I
fucking
cannot
go.
wait.
Yeah,
I
because he's going to have
cannot
someone to
wait to
protect
see him
his
in training
blind
camp
side
and
now.
OTAs. I cannot wait for OTAs.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry, man. He's like, dude, I'm protected. Finally, I don't gotta run for my life.
He's gonna have. He's gonna. You ever seen that one Chihuahua meme with the war going in the background? You're gonna see the first like 5 or 6 snaps when he's playing when he's in training camp. He's gonna wince. He's like, wait a second, I have time back here. What the hell?
Yo, Steven comes back in here. Shout out to Steven, man. He's killing the super chat game right now. Comes in and says, love these party, man. Enjoy watching it. Keep it up, Steven. We'll be here every single freaking year, man. By the way, too, guys, the party's not over. Even when the first round is over, your boy is still coming out with a video tonight breaking down Will Campbell, the selections, my thoughts, what he brings, the good, the bad, all of that. So you can still expect that video to come out tonight. Party don't stop, baby.
No, it don't.
I think he had Jalen Royals though as his 6th or 7th best pick in this class. I don't know.
I like Royals. I like Royals. Dude,
Royals not in the first though.
No, not in the first. But dude, there was a point
I
at this
don't
Senior
want.
Bowl where Jalen Royals is lined up against his cornerback and just doesn't even get off the line. He just stutter steps real quick, and the guy just flies backwards and it was the funniest thing, dude.
Like Rob, honestly, I know you want.
I'm stressing over here, bro. It's hot. What's going on underneath?
Let me tell you,
my cat, brother.
In the long run, Jaden Higgins is going to be better than Matthew Golden, 100%.
Jaden, look, there's a lot of guys that you could probably put your hat on that could be the best wide receiver in this class. You got Travis Hunter. You've got, I mean, you could probably make a case for Luther Burden and Mika Ibuka, Jaden Higgins. I know he said no, but Jalen Noel, and I believe also Kyle Williams could be one of the best in this class. Like the biggest thing is just Kyle Williams. He just needs to work on his game a little bit. And look, man, I would call up Steve Smith because Steve Smith, you know what Steve Smith says his comparison for Kyle Williams is? Steve Smith. He says that he reminds him of him. And
That's
what
funny.
better person to learn from than him?
Hey, man, too. Shout out Connor, by the way. Connor, I feel like is like the first person in every single live stream. Like I'll schedule a live stream and I'll like look at the comments and Connor's already in it. So shout out to Connor, man. It's always the first one in the chat, man. Also, shout out to Tancred Bay. I mean, guys, this is why I love watch parties, because I'm telling you, people that I haven't seen in the comments in years, they come back, man. Tancred Bay, man. I remember you back from like 2021, man. Always in the comments section. So good to see you again. Big $10 donation said, hey, PG. Any player in particular that could realistically fall to the first round that the Pats could get into the second. Maybe this is a hot take, and maybe even if he does fall to the second, maybe the Patriots still don't take him. But I still think Luther Burden, exactly. Luther Burden, I think, could fall to the second, just because I think he fell off this past year. The NFL is very much recency bias. They care what did you do lately, not what did you do at one point. Big time character concerns. You know, they feel like he gives up on plays when he's not getting the ball. He whines when he doesn't get the ball a lot. He doesn't produce that production. He gets very, very upset, kind of like a Stephon Diggs type of a thing. So I think that might potentially drop him. Another person I could see falling.
Simmons.
I really like Malachi Starks a lot, and Malachi Starks is the best safety in this class. But do you guys remember a couple of years ago, who was it? Branch, who ultimately was selected in the second round by the Lions. He was the best safety in that class. He fell to the second.
No, Tom, let's hear what Tom has to say.
With the 22nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Omarion Hampton.
That's a good pick.
Omarion Hampton. Interesting.
Omarion Hampton officially goes.
Move over Najee Harris. You're running back 2 now.
They needed running back help, man.
Who was also
Did they?
Najee Harris is like, he's a good
Najee Harris,
He's
He averaged. No, he's better than good. The guy's averaged 1,000 yards for how long?
But he's also been very inconsistent is the problem. Like with him,
1,000 yards is inconsistent.
But it's because they give him the ball a lot. So he put up 1,000 yards, but because they're giving him the ball a lot, because the Steelers have been a heavily based run offense because they haven't really had much of a quarterback. They haven't really been very good with wide receivers as of late either. So they've had to run the ball a lot. So Najee Harris, good pickup, a good veteran, but him and Omarion Hampton, man, oh God.
This just screams Jim Harbaugh. Like the guy just keeps drafting things to try to mirror the Michigan offense. Like have a good running back, have a good offensive line, get the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands so he doesn't choke the game away.
This is honestly not a hot take. I think that Jim Harbaugh's the new Pete Carroll in the league, like old Pete Carroll, man. Like going back to the days when they had Marshawn Lynch, like what Pete Carroll's were building in Las Vegas, man.
I mean, when you look at when he was at Michigan, the biggest thing that like Jim Harbaugh, I apologize, Jim Harbaugh would do is JJ McCarthy he's all right. He's not all right. Justin Herbert's clearly a better quarterback, but why not get the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands so he doesn't feel like he has to do too much and put it in? I'm sorry, like Amari Hampton is a sledgehammer of a running back. He's going to run through everyone. He contorts his body in every which direction, and he's so damn hard to bring down. And it makes a lot of sense. Like he's trying to basically make it where he controls the game. I think wide receiver would have made more sense here, but I guess he doesn't have a lot of faith in what the wide receiver class this is.
Rob, real quick, do you see anybody, because I think you could have a potential good answer here for Tancred, is there anybody that you see that falls out of the first round that could be a potential second round selection for the Patriots?
For the Patriots?
Yeah, like anybody here that's a projected first that maybe falls to day 2 that could be an option for the team?
I mean, there's 2 people I'm thinking of right now off the top of my head. It's James Pearson. It's Mike Green. If Mike Green is falling right now, he can continue to fall because the red flags, man. But the thing is, though, I don't know if that's what Mike Vrabel's going for. So
yeah,
maybe
I don't think he would get him.
So and they've spent a lot of time at Boston College. So maybe a Donovan Azaraku, and I think that he's a little bit of a project. But I think that he would just be a perfect pick. He's a
oh my God, Rob, if Donovan Azaraku falls to the second round, oh my God, that is a match.
I can honestly see the Patriots going back to back on Boston College, going Donovan Azaraku and then going Ozzie Trapillo.
I don't know. With Trapillo, I just feel like he's not going to start for you at right tackle for at least another year or 2.
You won't need to. You got Morgan Moses, look, one thing I like about Morgan Moses is the guy plays through injury, and he's very solid. Yes, he's old as Jesus Christ himself, but he's going to give you at least some sustainability, and then have him sit behind Morgan Moses. I mean, I wouldn't. The biggest thing with the Patriots is not only that we don't have starters on the offensive line. Well, now we do, but we don't have depth. Like, we need depth too, because if Morgan Moses goes down, you have a huge gaping hole at right tackle. Because, I mean, who are you going to think Caden Wallace can fill that role? He hasn't shown me any indication that he can do that. And what was the biggest concern with Caden Wallace going into last year's draft? His motivation to play football. Am I nailing that one? If I'm not mistaken, the biggest thing about him was his motivation to play football, right?
I don't remember hearing anything about that, but maybe. I think he showed good flashes. He showed good flashes down the stretch. So I wouldn't give up on it too soon. If he falls to like the 4th, I'd feel perfectly fine going after him. But I feel like in the first 3 rounds, the Patriots need those guys to be immediate difference makers. They need to be immediate starters. They can't be guys that kind of just sit back, don't start year 1, or kind of situational guys. So I like Trapillo. If he's there in the 4th, I think that's when my discussion starts. But I think any sooner than that, I don't know if they would go after him. Like, I think if they're going to go back to the offensive line in the first 3 rounds, it's going to be with a guard.
I just think that it's going to get to the – look, I know Stephon Diggs, he'll come in and he'll instantly upgrade this offense. I just think there's just too many question marks that if any of the guys of Luther Burden or who else is left? We got Matthew Golden or Jaden Higgins. Those guys are not going to be available later on. Like, one of them may fall to 38, but that's just wishful thinking. I especially when you got Green Bay on the clock, you got the Texans on the clock, and hell, with Jameson Williams, basically, like, I don't know what's going on over there. the Lions can move off him and draft a wide receiver there as well. And Matthew Golden for the Lions makes a ton of sense.
What about Matthew Golden at 23? I think that makes a lot of sense. By the way, shout out to Red Sox. $10 donation says, since the OGs are making a comeback, LOL. I feel like this is Christmas. I feel like everybody who's been like a big piece in the comment section and watching Patriots Global for the last 5-6 years, I feel like everybody's here right now, man. This is like this feels like Avengers Endgame to me right here, man. I mean, everybody just comes back at once. Or Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Another iconic, another iconic one right there, man. That's what it feels like right now. The nostalgia is killing me. I love it.
William Giberson makes a good point. If the Patriots don't trade up to 24, I can't see anywhere else they could trade up to. Like
I could see the Eagles being okay with trading down.
Then again, the LA Rams GM has been known to say F them picks, so he might be a guy to do that.
Or what if we see like a Lamar Jackson situation where the Eagles trade out of the first round from 32, extra draft capital, and we see a quarterback go there again? I mean, hey, 2018 all over again.
And with like Howie Roseman, the guy just like he has a finger on the pulse of the NFL draft. The guy just constantly gets heater. And what's the difference between going to 32 to 38? He'll still find somebody. I guarantee that. And that roster is still stacked. It's stacked. And I can see someone dropping to them that wasn't supposed to drop to them. And there you go. So, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe the Patriots, because what you want to do, the whole point of trading back into the first round is to get that fifth-year option, is it not? You get a guy that you have that fifth-year option. You have that chance to basically guarantee another year, and you have more of an insurance policy.
Yeah, I agree with that. By the way, shout out to Diehard Pats fan for the $10 donation. Said, hey, yeah, all? I think that's supposed to say y'all, but I think the apostrophe was a little bit missing there. Hey, y'all, it looks like if PG gets 11 more super chats, someone is going to get gifted another free membership. Let's make it happen. It's true. If we hit the goal of super chats, I'll give a free donation. Give a free donation, man. Maybe we'll even give more than one. Who knows? Who knows?
I regret to inform all of you that with the 23rd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Matthew Golden.
Hey,
bro,
Matthew Golden. That was just obvious. That was just obvious, man. Come on, we all know that. That was so obvious.
Rip is Zachary Jonathan.
Yeah, Jordan Love can keep practicing throwing it over his head now.
6 foot 195. What was his 40 time? It was like a 4.2, if I remember correctly.
Not fast enough because Jordan Love's going to throw it way over his head. Oh my God, man!
Matthew Golden. I mean, that just made nothing but sense.
I did.
Glad it makes sense to you. My brain is hurting right now.
Matthew Golden, another receiver off the
All
board.
right,
Hey,
here we go.
If you want those weapons, O-line, wide receiver,
I don't know if Luther Burden's worth trading up to 24 for speed.
Oh no, I wouldn't get Luther Burden at 24. I wouldn't trade up and give up the draft compensation.
Are we really about to stick and pick now?
Honestly,
I'm upset.
Yeah, don't be shocked if Patriots don't even take a wide receiver.
Don't do
I'd
that
be
to
honest.
me.
Yeah,
like that.
Who have they met with a lot? Who have they met with a lot
happening.
as far as the wide receivers go? Didn't they meet with like Jalen Noel and
They did meet with Jalen Noel.
Kyle Williams? Yeah, they did. They met with both of them. But how Jalen Noel's being regarded as a really, really strong wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. I heard a lot about that on this. I think it's Agent 89 podcast with Steve Smith.
Wait, I'm looking at defensive.
I doubt they take one at 38. That's all.
So
you're probably looking at like what 60, whatever 71 or wherever they're at in the third. It's
269.
So some wide receivers that they've met with, just for the record, they met with Tet twice. So I do think they liked him. I think if Tet fell, the Patriots would have traded back in and tried to have gotten him. They met with Arian Smith from Georgia 2 times. Pat Bryant 2 times. Get this, they met with Jalen Noel 3 times. They also met with Kyle Williams 3 times. Both names to watch.
So, yep, there you go. You know what? I'd be happy with either one of them at 38. I don't know about Kyle Williams at 38. I would be happy with Jalen Noel at 38.
Third round.
He's
they
not
need a free
dropped. There's
safety.
absolutely no way. Then you trade back from 38 to maybe like 50 something. There's no way he drops to 69. There's absolutely no shot.
They need Xavier
He's a
Watts.
freak,
That's who
bro.
they need. They need a free safety. They
Rob,
don't need
keep the chat going for me real quick.
I'm trying, bro. My whole motivation just went out the window.
There's
God.
9 wide receivers on this team.
All right, guys.
One's got to go.
The Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. So
one's got to go at some.
What would the Minnesota Vikings? Will Johnson makes a ton of sense here. Maybe Malachi Starks. I don't know. At this point, I'm looking at this board, and teams that have quote unquote needs are doing best player available from what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Golden for the Green Bay Packers, albeit that is really hurting my heart at this moment, makes a ton of sense for them. Christian Watson, I mean, he's dealing with injuries, and the rest of that receiving core is just kind of anemic.
Man.
They don't really have
Okay.
They're all, but it's a bunch of all right. Now you get a guy in Matthew Golden that runs a 4.29, 6'1". The guy has one of the smoothest routes in all of this class. It just makes a ton of sense. But I'll open it to the chat right now. What do you guys think is going to be the pick for the Vikings? If I'm the Vikings, in my honest opinion, I don't think in this class you lose much sleep if you trade out of the first round, because honestly, they have 4 picks in this whole class. They don't have a ton of needs, but why not go and maybe get some future picks, possibly trade back? But the only team I could realistically see right now maybe is, I mean, the Giants and the Browns have been rumored to wanting to trade back into the first round. And the player that they're trying to target, from what I've heard, was Jackson Dart. Is Jackson Dart at 24 too rich? He gives me Mac Jones vibes. He really does. I don't,
Breaking news. With the 24th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Donovan Jackson.
Wow.
Okay.
Didn't they just pick up a left tackle?
No, they got who did they get? They got Ryan Kelly. They got Ryan Kelly for their center, and then Will Fries.
Okay, but who is their current left tackle? Okay, Minnesota.
Christian Darisaw.
Okay, so then this tells me, because the thing is about Donovan Jackson, he's an insurance policy. He's a guy that when Josh Simmons went down with his plantar fascia, he filled in. It was right before the playoffs. This guy has offensive line versatility. He can play guard. He can play left tackle. This is an insurance policy if Darisaw goes down. I like the pick actually a lot. It makes sense. So now they have a really good offensive line, or at least a good offensive line. The Texans are drafting receiver right here, and then to me, Emeka Egbuka would have made the most sense here. With that being said, now Luther Burden, with that culture they got going on, I mean, look at who the Texans took on. They took on a Stephon Diggs. Now, Stephon Diggs is a little bit brash. Maybe that's what you get in Luther Burden. Maybe you get Luther Burden to the Texans makes way too much sense.
Did we figure out the pick at 24?
So they picked Donovan Jackson.
Donovan Jackson?
So what I said is that basically if Darisaw goes down, Donovan Jackson played left tackle for Josh Simmons when he went down, and it's like their offense didn't lose a beat. So you got positional versatility in Donovan Jackson that can play guard, can play left tackle, and
He's projected to be guard, yeah.
But he can play tackle. The guy did it. He was really good against Penn. I believe it was Penn State and Texas, going against players like Abdul Carter and some of those studs on the Texas defensive line. So it just makes too much sense to me now that they have the whole left side of the offensive line locked down.
Speaking of just tackle, I know that the Texans they got Cam Robinson for free agency, but does that mean they still may want to get like a
I think
offensive lineman.
you said, well, see, the thing is with Cam Robinson is I think that's a stopgap. I think that, yes, they could still go left tackle. I think but I still think it just makes too much sense. Luther Burden here. I hate it.
6'4", 320.
They got Justin Watson. They got John Mechie. They got obviously Tank Dell. He's like a broken man.
Yeah, but the Tank Dell has had his fair share of injuries, and if I'm not mistaken, he's coming off injuries. So why not go and get your yak specialist and Luther Burden here?
Breaking news: the Texans are trading with the New York Giants.
Whoa!
What did I say?
Come on, Elliot Wolf.
There we go, their quarterback,
Rob.
Right? They're about to get that quarterback. Yeah, come on, they got to, right?
Shador Sanders to the Giants.
Well, actually,
or maybe Jackson Dart.
Who's there at tackle?
Wait, I did say Jackson Dart.
Maybe they said a tackle. Jackson Dart has been heavily linked back to the Giants.
And the Browns.
But you also had Shador throwing with Malik Neighbors.
This is a huge reach.
In the streets of New York.
If it's either one of them, this is a huge reach.
I agree, but I do think that Jackson Dart, his stock has been rising significantly higher as of late.
You know what I compared him to before you were on the mic?
Who?
Mac Jones.
Jackson Dart.
I have the terms of the trade if anybody wants to.
I want to hear them.
Extremely inconsistent with his deep ball. Sounds about right. Really consistent intermediate.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
He's also very good against the blitz. Mac wasn't good against the blitz.
Let me hear the terms.
Yeah, before he didn't have his head shoved into the sand 100 times because the offensive line was garbage.
So
I'm not advocating for Mac Jones. I'm just saying when Jackson Dart gets his head shoved up his own ass because a Giants offensive line can't block a common cold, then he's going to turn into Mac Jones.
So what are the terms of this deal?
So it's going to be pick 25 being sent to the Giants in exchange for pick 34, pick 99, and a third-round pick next year.
Jesus, that's
holy heck!
So a second, a third, and a next year's third.
Wow.
If that's what it is, that's not terrible to you. That's too much, especially next year's class is going to be a much better.
I mean, you're trading up to 25. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the mid 20s. So I mean, if you're trading back into like the first round, I mean, the team that's trading back in is going to have to pay significantly more. You have to pay that price to trade back in.
But I think that like maybe 32 could have been a spot to trade back, like unless they really feared that the Rams, or that there you go, like Shador Sanders has been linked to the Rams.
Well, it makes sense because Matthew Stafford's up in name, but they also got Stetson Bennett.
Well, Matthew Stafford was also come on. Stetson Bennett is literally he's one step away from AARP. The guy's ancient. But like Shador Sanders was linked to the Rams, and being that Matt Stafford was basically testing the trade market, and he found out, okay, yeah.
Breaking news: with the 25th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jackson Dart.
There we go.
We told you it was going to be Jackson
2 for 2, Rob.
I predicted.
I told you. I told you it was going to be that quarterback.
That would be the case. I predicted that would be the case.
Jackson Dart, pretty boy himself, is going to New York.
I guessed it.
Yo, Richie wanted Jackson Dart so bad. And you know what? Jackson Dart, he's going to New York. He's playing at MetLife, man, but he's not suiting up in green.
Listen,
let's go back to the fact that, like, why won't they retire MetLife? That damn stadium has claimed so many ACLs.
Yeah, well, it's been a stadium for like over 10 years.
It's called the House of Horrors for a reason. Like, it literally, I don't know. I think right now, I think you're going to get your run on quarterbacks here. I'm going to think that LA, I can take a Shador right here. Because you could have him sit behind Matthew Stafford. I think LA can wait another round. They draft really well.
They could also go cornerback because their secondary is awful.
You're right. Maybe Will Johnson here.
Yeah.
Mason Taylor here would look really good too.
Because Higbee's getting old.
Should be, yeah. He is
and
old.
The tight end in place of Higbee was Colby Parkinson.
Jonathan Watson. Yeah, Dart. So this was a report earlier that by Jeff Howe of the Athletic that basically, can you hear me, Colby?
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier Jeff Howe reported that a lot of I don't know if it was GMs or coaches or scouts or whatever believed that Jackson Dart was going to go over Shedeur Sanders. Let me actually pull up the quote.
Wow. Jackson Dart in the first, man. Dude,
Okay.
I'll never forget. We were at the Senior Bowl, and Richie asks him, he goes, what part of your game do you think translates best to the NFL? And Jackson Dart basically tells him, just turn on the film, bro. Just turn on the film, bro.
The guy is just – he's inconsistent. Jeff Howe of The Athletic has heard from teams, quote, unquote, that they wouldn't be I'm paraphrasing, they wouldn't be shocked if Dart was the second quarterback selected in the 2025 NFL draft. Well, there you go. It happened. This is Jeff Howe of The Athletic. Makes sense. Luther Burden is falling. Still falling. He's not falling past Washington, by the way, because, like I said,
trade alert. The Rams are trading with the Falcons.
Wow. This is where you're going to start seeing trades.
Wait,
Jeez, dude.
wait, who did the Rams trade with?
The Falcons.
I guarantee you they wanted Jackson Dart.
Of course. Wait, what are the terms, Tom?
I hope the Falcons draft a kicker. That would be part of the course.
Pick 46, pick 242, and a first-round pick next year for pick 26 and 1.
Wait, a first next year? What the hell?
Wait, what?
What?
What are the Rams doing?
Not the Rams. What are the Falcons doing? That they're going to be a top, unless they really have that much belief that Michael Penix is going to put them in the playoffs. Because, look, man.
If I was the Rams, I would have done that too.
Of course you would, because the Rams know how to draft.
Maybe they'll draft another quarterback.
The thing is with the Falcons is they have a quarterback in Michael Penix. With all due respect, the biggest thing that he had coming into the draft last year is that he had old man's knees. The guy had basically no what the hell was that little film that's in between your knees? He teared both his ACL, so
cartilage.
No cartilage. There you go. He basically is bone on bone right now. So I don't understand trading a future first when there's the possibility of
they could go so many directions here.
They
could go Malachi Starks. I don't think they're going to go edge because they went with Jalen.
But was it worth trading a future first?
Especially after the trade that just happened before. The trade that happened before you, they didn't give up a first.
Tackle.
This is the Rams just playing chess, because while the Falcons y'all are really
Sean
a meme.
McVay, baby.
At this point, y'all are really a meme. Because
Sean McVay is one of the best head coaches.
28-3.
They're a meme because you're gonna go and trade up and get what? Say you get Will Johnson. But then you're going to be a top 10 pick next year that you gave to the Rams that are going to go in a better class and draft a quarterback in a better class. Great job setting the Rams up for future successes. That would be part of the course for the Atlanta Falcons. You are a freak. The fact Arthur Blank was on, by the way, and this is just random, on the sideline while we cheering. I'm so happy that he looked like a sourpuss after we came back down 28-3.
Yeah,
but y'all are really a meme. That's just like, why?
Once again, 28-3.
What are they doing with Kirk Cousins, by the way?
That's a good question. Like that contract that they gave him, they're gonna.
Nobody's taking
the
that.
Internet's freaking out now that we know that they're trading a first.
From what it said, they said that they're going to keep him on the bench, which is crazy to me. If the rumors are
Like,
true.
why? The
He's
question
not
is,
sitting on the
why
bench.
would
He's
you
getting
give
traded.
Kirk Cousins a 4-year
No.
deal and then you signed and then you drafted Michael Penix last year?
Because Kirk Cousins sucked last year.
Then why
He
did
was
they give him a
fucking
4-year
awful.
deal?
They did that for insurance.
Insurance for what? He's like 36.
Because okay, well, Tom Brady played till he was 45.
Oh, come on. Let's not do
jeez.
that. Let's not
Heck
do that.
no.
The quarterbacks are playing older and older every year. So like,
Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
like a
Aaron
word.
Rodgers is what, 44 and still playing? I mean, he sucks, but he's still playing.
It's not a good example.
And then Joe Flacco.
That is not a good example.
I think Joe Flacco is a good example.
With
I
the
think Joe
26th
Flacco
pick.
is
No,
only-
Joe Flacco was never.
Oh, we
elite.
got the pick here, guys.
With the
So-
26th pick of the 2025
My
NFL
thing.
draft, the Atlanta
Donovan
Falcons
Esraku.
select James Pierce Jr.
Okay.
Wow. Who did they get earlier?
They got Jalen Walker, right? I'm correct.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker.
Holy crap.
Oh my word.
They got help at pass rush. I'll tell you that.
They got a bad boy. They got a
That
bad boy.
defense is freaking nasty. That well, at least on the front seven. God.
They better hope that those character concerns don't kick them in the butt.
But see, Jalen Walker go smack James Pierce in the face.
I don't think that it
mean-
was worth giving up a future first.
Dude,
Look,
he's had.
I will say this. I'm sorry for cutting you off, DTN. Before this year, James Pierce was regarded as he was the number one pick, if we remember. And then he fell because he had a bad year at Tennessee and as well as his character concerns. Unless you trust what you got going on in the building, which respectfully, like I'll keep saying it, the Falcons are a freaking meme. These picks, if they hit, is going to be really great.
That New York Giants quarterback room makes no sense, though. Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito.
It's going to
Tommy
be a
DeVito's
freaking
Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and Tim Boyle. I don't know.
Jackson Dart's not starting week 1. I'll
There
tell you
was
that.
a TikTok video I saw where Jameis Winston is listening to Russell Wilson talk about how spicy his Subway burrito is, and he's making faces at him. I'm like, oh
I'm never going to
God,
Subway again.
that room is just gonna be like
Oh my
they need to just do Hard Knocks on the damn quarterback room for the damn Giants.
Then again,
That's hilarious.
Oh my
God
gosh.
forbid they
2
do
years in a
Hard
row.
Knocks. God forbid they do Hard Knocks.
Oh my God, please do. That's
do it.
hilarious.
Okay, with the Ravens, I know that they lost Patrick. They lost
The
Patrick.
Ravens made so much sense for James Pierce. He was actually like projected to go there for like the longest time. So now why not grab someone else that might be able to that has some issues? Mike Green here makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
And what better culture than the Ravens?
I think they go
Will
defensive
Johnson?
tackle because they got Matabike. They lost Owe. No. Owe's still on the team. Owe's still on the team.
I can
He
also
was
see Will
projected to be
Johnson going here
traded, that's
too.
right.
We could trade with the Ravens. I don't know, but
Oh yeah, they don't really need much. You're right.
Well,
I can see this.
I could see them going cornerback. But then again, you got Nate Wiggins and you have Humphrey and you lost Stevens. Well, they got rid of their cancer, Stevens.
Here's my thing, though, and I'm not trying to hog the spotlight or anything, but just something that came on my mind. Based off how many picks and future picks that people have had to trade to get up into this draft, I don't – is that part of the course now moving forward? If that's the case, I'm not trading back into the first.
Heck no.
That we have too many holes to be trying to do that. Like, just because the Falcons and the Giants want to mortgage their whole future off of, I mean, they're good picks. No, not the Giants. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about James Pierce. I think that'd be a pretty good pick. I don't know if I would trade as much like the value that people are trading up for. Colby, what are your thoughts on that, man? People are mortgaging some pretty hefty prices to move up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the value was going to be a little bit lower just given the talent in this draft class. But you know what? Like, that just tells you, like, it doesn't matter what the draft class is. If you want to trade back into the first round, it's going to cost a lot, especially for the team looking to trade back in, because, you know, that price for you to trade up, the team that's trading up is always going to have to pay more. I got into it with somebody on Twitter who, like, tries to say that there's some professional for the NFL and whatnot, and he was totally off on the trade value chart for the potential trade, and he was like, "Oh well, you know, it's because it's a bad draft class. You're not gonna have to pay a lot." And it's like, well, dude, no. Especially if you're trading back into the first round, you're also paying for that 5th-year option.
I think if you're gonna follow a trade chart, Jimmy Johnson built that. So that's something you that's really what, and teams are still going off that trade chart today, the point system for that. So.
And let's be honest too, like this is a great year. Like you think about the stock market too, like you know, what's the best time to buy? Low, right? Buy low, and then when it's high, you sell.
But I don't know. Like my biggest thing is these teams, they're putting a lot of stock into this draft and ignoring future drafts. If I'm trading back into the first, I'm realistically not giving up more than a 4th round pick in a future pick. It just doesn't make any damn sense to me. Giving up a future first, Atlanta, where you're probably, God forbid anything goes wrong, you're a top 10, you're literally routinely a top 10 pick. And you're putting all your stock into two edge rushers who I think if it pans out, that's a home run. Like I think that the Falcons nailed the draft. Where my reservations is how much they had to give up. Like a future first it's stupid. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense, especially with how look, Michael Penix, I hope he has a long, lengthy career, but he's I call it a spade. This guy has torn both his ACLs, and then say you have Kirk Cousins laying in the wakes. This guy has had a torn Achilles. So you literally have two guys have had major injuries in their career, and if something goes wrong, you just mortgaged a future first round pick off of a what if.
And if the Falcons miss the playoffs again, it's really gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt them.
And that division's getting better.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
I know Panthers and Buccaneers are slowly getting better. Saints, I don't know. They were wrecked.
I think this pick for the Ravens, I mean, it has to either be Will Johnson, Mike Green, or Donovan Ezaraku. It wouldn't surprise me if everybody's projecting it to be Mike Green and then it ends up being
I am
Donovan
surprised
Ezaraku.
Jahad Campbell fell that low. If the Lions, I'm curious of what the Lions are going to pick.
With the 27th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malaki Starks.
Wow.
Interesting.
Interesting. Wow. You know what? I mean, best player available, right? Best player available. They need a defensive back help. They're a team that always likes to go at either edge rusher, safety, or cornerback. And looks like they try to get some help there at free safety. Like I said, number one safety on the board, man. Number one safety on the board falls to 27, and they select him. I don't think there's any question. He's going to be a good player in the league. I just think that there's a lot of teams that don't value safety as high as others.
The Ravens safety room, they're actually barren because their only best safety is Kyle Hamilton, but who else? So now that you get this guy, you got Hamilton and this guy.
Personally, I would have drafted Donovan Ezaraku at 27. That's just me.
I can see Donovan Ezaraku going to the Lions because their defensive line has been injury prone.
And Hutchinson, we don't know if he's going to be okay. And why not take a load off his plate by grabbing a guy like a Mike Green or a Donovan Ezaraku? That makes a ton. DTN, you keep coming with the hitters, man. Guys, go subscribe to Patriots Talk with DTN's channel. It's somewhere in the chat.
For
sure.
I'll do that again. I'll do that again if you want. Another point I gotta make: their defensive. They may want to also consider defensive tackle because their defensive tackles have also been injured. That game against the Bears on Thanksgiving, killed their entire defensive line.
Honestly, Omar Norman Lott,
Could be a guy that they pick up.
do
Also,
like-
they lost
I
to
do like
Darius
Omar
Smith, who's
Norman.
now in free agency.
I think
released
this
Darius-
is going to be edge here. I think this is going to be
You
edge
gotta
at
go ahead. You
28,
gotta go
man.
ahead.
Like I said, I think it kind of fits back into what I said last time. I mean, maybe they surprise everybody and go Nick Scorton. They've been linked back to him, but I mean, I think Mike Green and Donovan Ezeraku. I didn't think Ezeraku was going to fall this far. To be honest with you guys, if the Patriots traded back in and they got Ezeraku, I think a lot of people would be upset that they traded back in for a guy that wasn't offense. But I think the value you're getting with Ezeraku, you know that the Patriots, because of the teapot, the connections back there to Boston College, the Patriots were at that pro day. You know that they got the inside look there into Donovan Ezeraku. Again, a guy with all the physical intangibles, great physical toolbox, really high football IQ, good person. I didn't think he was going to fall this far, but I think that this has to be edge here for Detroit.
And what a great thing to have in the teapot, Bill O'Brien at Boston College, to basically be the farm system for Patriots future players. Because what he's building over there, I mean, look, he may have not panned out in Mac Jones last year, but I think personally, like, Bill O'Brien is a damn good coach. And to have that connection with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, he's going to keep developing players over there, and we're just basically going to have an inside source to that.
Seriously.
I think Patriots can also look into guard because they also lost Kevin Zeitler.
Oh my god.
Ezeraku to the Lions. He joins the Michigan dude.
Because you're not.
Wait. Is that
The Lions?
is that a thing?
What?
Guys, don't post it in chat unless it really happens.
This bullshit.
What do you mean? Wait, what's going on? Because
Yeah,
I know
we didn't get anything. There's no reports about it.
No, I was gonna say Lions. They have Sewell, Decker,
someone just posted in the
Glasgow.
chat.
The
Ragnow.
Lions did put their pick in. The name just isn't out yet.
Oh, they were quick with it then, for the most part.
I mean, there's a lot of good, solid players still on the freaking board.
Because
Like,
my
a lot of
second
these
favorite
players
team is the
rock.
Lions, so, like-
Jeez.
All he's doing is camping. There's a loser.
All right, let's see. So Jonathan was saying he's not saying that's what happened, but he's saying he thinks the Patriots will go get a left guard.
Trust rules. I agree. Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton is going to be unfair.
Oh, I'm just reading some of my text messages from one of my Giants fans. He said, the last time we drafted an Ole Miss quarterback, and that was Eli Manning.
Eli Manning was overrated, man. Like, let's be honest.
Stop it. Eli Manning only made it to the Super Bowl because Jeremy Shockey was carrying that offense, and that defensive line was like literally legendary. Let's stop acting like Eli Manning wasn't a 500 quarterback. Can we stop?
His name's Alicia. His name is Alicia, not Eli.
Whatever.
Now his brother, on the other hand, that's a dog.
By the way, he was wrapped
he went to
up.
Tennessee.
He was wrapped up. The ref should have thrown the flag. He was not there. At one point, who the hell had a grip on him? They should have called the play dead. Whatever. I'm still salty about the 2007 Super Bowl. Anyways, tell your friend step on a Lego.
Yeah.
All the Patriots haters step on a damn Lego. I hope you step on every damn Lego.
But yeah, going back to the Lions pick, yeah, I would see edge going. I would see edge.
I'm telling you right now, though, also skipping over the Lions, Luther Burden's going to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is going to get what he wants. And they both have been like, I seen the comment section. Let me see if I can find it. Jaden Daniels.
Was it guard? Wait.
Yo, when they pick up the commissioner, that's wild.
Okay. Where is it? Luther Burden on social media activity suggests he'd relish the prospect joining the Commanders. 2 separate comments on posts around Jaden Daniels provides a not-so-subtle hint. There's more of it akin to come get me plea. Missouri wide receiver, I guess it was on a post on Instagram on Jaden Daniels, and it said, basically, let's do it. And then I guess I can't remember which one of the two commented eyeball emojis and popcorn.
With the 28th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Tyleek Rayner.
Whoa.
Running back, Temple.
Oh. Well, are you for real?
That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense.
Who was on the board still? You passed over Henderson.
Wait, what?
Why did they draft running back?
They got Jameer and David Montgomery. What?
I don't even think he's on here.
Is he a Swiss Army knife? You said someone's trolling. What's his name?
It popped up wrong. Let me fix it.
I was about to say, man, hold up.
I was like, wait a second.
Actually, defensive lineman Tyleik Williams.
Tyleik Williams. Okay.
Tyleik Williams. What? Oh, let me look him up. He's the defensive tackle for Ohio State.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of difference.
I was gonna say you said running back.
This happened to me last year too, because it said that the 49ers last year were taking Cooper DeJean, and then in reality they took Ricky Pearsall.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's true. But honestly, DTN hit another one.
Luther Burden's going here now.
I knew that they had to go defensive line at some point.
Luther Burden is going to the Commanders. Might as well pencil
maybe go
it in.
cornerback. Maybe Will Johnson.
I'm telling you right now, if Jaden Daniels wants it, he's getting it.
And quite frankly, too, what's his name? That's
And if we're going anything off his 2023 tape, he was the best wide receiver in college football, or at least he was up there as one of the best wide receivers in college football.
I could also see him going.
You might as well bring up the wide receiver board. He's going there. I'm telling you,
they
bro.
could use help at edge too.
I believe
maybe
it, man.
Cornerback, yeah. I'm about to say DTN corner's another one that they needed help with. They tried to trade
Will Johnson with Marshawn Lattimore. That would make a ton of sense.
Lattimore,
also got our boy Jonathan Jones.
Yeah, Jonathan Jones, I think, is going to be the slot. He's more rotational. He's like 32 now.
Yeah, he's getting.
And they also got Dietrich Wise.
Why does it say the Eagles need wide receiver?
It's the first need.
I don't get it. Like, you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Bro,
if anything, they might
Azaraku at 32 would be disgusting.
Dude, they need it.
Or Mike Green, dude.
Oh my gosh, Mike Green.
Imagine that, Colby. Grabbing a Mike Green to the damn Eagles, who just grabs players that have red flags and just turn them into like the damn Eagles are a representation of the damn Monstars.
Well, he just falls into people's laps. I mean,
youngins,
players for Philadelphia, they just fall. I mean, that's the thing. People are always saying, Philadelphia, they draft the best players. They draft the best players because they go with the most obvious players. There's always players that fall down the boards, and that's where Philly goes. Like, sometimes the obvious pick is just the right pick.
It's not even just that. Like, a lot of these picks are reaches. Like, Dart would have dropped to the second round. Let's be honest with ourselves.
He would have. But they traded up to get that 5th-year option on him. That's the reason why.
Maybe Donovan Jackson wouldn't have dropped to the second round. I'm trying to look at this right here and see what, just based off this little thing right here, what would have happened as far as James Pierce could have dropped to the second round.
Well, I think the Giants traded back in just to get that 5th-year option because, even if you went to the second round, you don't get that 5th-year option. I mean, that 5th-year option, getting 5 years on a rookie deal is huge because of what quarterbacks are making.
I just think that, what did they trade to get Jackson Dart? What was the trade
48.
value?
New York gave up $34.99 and a third next year.
And I said that was
so basically a second.
The third bothers me. The third bothers me because it's a better draft. The third next year is like a freaking second round pick this year.
Actually, I just realized something that the Commanders could also get. They could also get linebacker, and Jahad Campbell could fit that mold because
if they're smart, they'll go get what you're saying. They'll go get Jahad Campbell
because they have Bobby Wagner, and then I don't know.
Listen, you want to talk about the model consistency? Jesus, like what is what is in his protein shakes? Because the guy just doesn't. He still act. like I remember when we were rumored to possibly get him, the guy still averages like 150 freaking tackles at like 70 years old.
This guy at the age of 34, second team All-Pro and Pro Bowler.
Bobby Wagner, right?
Yeah.
What's his stat? Wait, what does his stats look like?
Let me see. 2024. It was 132 combined tackles. So
Jesus, bro. What?
2 sacks.
How old is he?
34.
That's insane, bro.
1 forced fumble, 2 fumbles recovered.
At what point does he start to like Tom Brady? Is he drinking your protein shakes? Like what is this? Guy's just 34 years old and still performing like y'all don't understand how like crazy that is, right? 100, what you said, 134 tackles?
Mm-hmm.
132 tackles. He also had 0.5 sack in the playoffs and then 1 fumble recovery in the playoffs.
That's insane, bro.
Dude, it would be the most Bills thing for Mike Green to fall there and they get Mike Green at 30, man.
I hate anybody that does that game.
Colby, I was
God,
thinking the same thing. Like, that's the way to combat the Patriots.
So retarded, bro. He should not be able to fucking hit me. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like it happened last year. The Bills got so many players that were on my big board.
The 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Josh Connerly Jr.
Josh Connerly, wow, they go tackle. That's a good move. Solidifying that offensive line. That was a big reason on why the Eagles blew them out in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's a smart move.
Another point is that what is Laramie Tunsil gonna do for you? Like this guy was a penalty machine, but
and this is why you go Campbell at 4. This is why you go Campbell. You don't trade down. You don't worry. You get your guy.
Yeah, it's looking better in hindsight.
I know.
This is what I told people. This is what I said was going to happen. Everyone told me I was crazy.
My MA football guy, he was a fanboy of Josh Connerly. In all my live streams, he has been a fanboy of Josh Connerly. And every mock draft I do, I mainly select Josh Connerly.
Bro, you know what would be hilarious? Josh Connerly to the Washington Commanders, Mike Green at 32 to the Eagles. They play each other twice a year. Man, I just keep replaying. That would be so funny.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Because of what Mike Green did to Josh Connerly at the Senior Bowl, that would be
That's
so
right.
funny.
That's right.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, I was wrong.
I was wrong too.
I was so convinced with that whole like come get me thing that like you know how it works, Colby. If a
quarterback wants something,
what the hell?
I think your audio popped out there, Rob.
Yep, I fixed it.
Okay,
My bad, guys.
With the Bills, you got to go Mike Green because I know Dan alluded to the fact that the defense sold in that championship.
Mm-hmm. I think the Bills can do basically what they did last year and trade out of the first.
They could. Yeah, that's a good point. Another thing is they could also go secondary because they got Christian Benford, but they also re-signed Tre'Davious White, who's like ancient, who's like
these are 3 teams.
I can see Will Johnson, man.
These are 3 teams that I would never want to give picks to.
No.
I hate every single one of these teams coming up, and I just don't. Honestly, at this point, man.
It's on to day 2.
Yeah, it's on the day 2. I wouldn't because I don't. The Buffalo Bills. Look, Buffalo Bills fans. I know if you're in Colby's chat, your recent success. Congratulations, you have done nothing else since then. Like you're literally you're basically runners ups and you won the last 5 years. Congratulations, no ring to show for it. You're still our little bro. So as far as them, I don't like. What do they do here? Like at this point, they need edge. Von Miller looked like a shell of himself. He got his $1 million bonus at the end of the year, sacking Drake May. I think they picked up Tre'Davious White in the offseason, but they do need cornerback help. Will Johnson on the Bills is just would be crazy. Or they could go Mike Green. But I think what did you say it, Colby? Where Mike Green, because the Commanders drafted Josh Connolly, grabbed Mike
Yeah,
Green
at 30, at 32, dude, that would be like that would just be hilarious.
You do realize that
Hilarious, dude.
the jokes would write itself for like the social media team. They would literally.
They're just gonna show that clip the whole time. They're literally just gonna post the clip as soon as that pick is made, and I'd probably retweet, to be honest with you.
Now that Connerly's off the board, what if the case that Ursry's also taken off the board, considering that the Kansas City Chiefs don't like that?
I was just looking at Ursry. Yes,
Simmons is good, but he's not playing week 1.
How many tackles went in the first round?
Let me
already
count.
6.
Last year or now?
6. One.
And
currently, yes.
The projection was what, 8?
8.
Are we projecting Donovan Jackson as a tackle? I get he's going to probably play guard for them.
5.5, maybe?
I put him as a guard personally.
Buffalo has made their selection. The Chiefs are on the clock.
Oh gosh!
By the way, quick shout out to MMD who comes in with a $5 donation. Says, "Man, I thought I seen enough draft foolishness with the Falcons, Cowboys, and Giants, but the lines is beyond crazy to me. The craziest draft that I've ever seen." And maybe this is when we thought it was a running back, but I actually think that the Tyreek Williams pick makes sense. They addressed
that
trend.
definitely makes sense. They need defensive line.
I think he thought it was a running back. We all freaking thought it was
running. Yeah, that running back selected at first. I was like, all right, yeah.
To be fair, it was showing up on someone on was it Red Sox or who's
Tom's?
Tom. It was showing up on his screen as a running back, which technology, aliens.
Yeah, those things be happening, man.
Like it what was it? Cooper DeJean was projected to the. Or whoever was projected last year that they messed up the font or whatever.
Are you serious?
That Cowboys pick though, man.
I still don't understand the Tyler Booker.
What was the Cowboys pick again? Can you bring that up?
Cowboys pick was guard.
Tyler Booker, right?
Yeah.
And do you know what's interesting? They could have got Matthew Golden, and instead they selected a guard.
I just think that they could have got. Wasn't Zabel still on guard? Wasn't Zabel still on the board?
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah, he was still on the board.
You want to talk about having to replace was it Nick Martin that retired?
Zach Martin.
Zach Martin. I apologize. That's his stepbrother, Nick Martin. But they had to replace Zach Martin, and I'm not saying Gray Zabel would have been able to do that, but the guy played tackle. And I'm not saying that he's definitely not playing tackle at the next level, but he would have been the same thing that we say about Will Campbell. If he doesn't pan out at left tackle, he'll be a very good left guard. Same thing is with Gray Zabel, except for Gray Zabel can literally line up just about everywhere on the offensive line. So why not grab him?
We have a trade.
A trade from 30 to trading again.
Kansas City is trading with Philly.
Browns.
Whoa, Philly's trading up.
Hold on, I got to
what?
Mike Green.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
They Philly wanted to trade up as soon as they saw Josh Connolly go. That's all.
What the hell did
one spot?
Interesting.
Why?
So, if they go edge here, there was 2 guys and Mike Green and Donovan Azaraku. They could have had either one of them if they stayed at their pick.
Bills.
I swear to God, if they gave up anything more than a 5th round pick, that's a reach.
Kansas
not a reach, as in it's a reach at wherever they pick. It's a reach because they could have just stayed at their pick.
Yes,
exactly.
Why do teams do that? They're
trying to mute.
Why do teams do? So who did the Bills pick? Is that in yet?
Bills are.
It hasn't been announced.
Bills.
So wait, is that official? The Eagles are trading up?
That's official. The Eagles have traded.
We just don't know the terms yet?
We know the terms. Kansas City's sending pick 31. Philadelphia is sending pick 32 and 164.
Oh, got you. So Philly's trading with Kansas City. Got you.
164 is a
I'll do that after.
This is ridiculous.
What is Howard Roseman doing?
Interesting.
I don't think you should ever question Howie Roseman, ever. If he does it, I take that as gospel. You know what?
It's Maxwell Harrison.
I will gladly shut my mouth. That man knows what he's doing.
If the Eagles are trading up one spot, it's because they're scared that the Chiefs were going to select who they wanted.
Oh, they could go ahead and snub him. Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
So
Wait,
they're-
one
Mind
second.
you,
One
the
second.
Eagles and the Chiefs
Who is? Fast forward a little bit to the second round. Who's at the top of the second round?
Mike
No. Go down.
Browns.
Maybe they feared some of these teams,
What?
not the Browns. I don't think that they feared who the Browns took. The Browns took Travis
Browns
Hunter.
took
No,
Mason Graham.
the Browns
they
took
took
Mason Graham.
Graham. So, no, they wouldn't think that Edge would go there.
Do we know who the
else?
Bills took yet?
Yes,
No.
Maxwell Hairston.
The cornerback. Wow. He had the best 40 time. He had the best 40 projected second, but he had the best 40 time.
I thought
Wow, over Will
I
Johnson.
don't
Crazy.
hate that pick.
I
I don't
thought
hate it.
the Bills would go Siobhan Rebel.
Wasn't he locking people up at the Reese's Senior Bowl?
Siobhan
Or
Rebel.
was that? Or was
That was
Maxwell
Azaria
Harrison.
Thomas to me was the cornerback locking everybody up.
Well, at least the Bills got themselves a cornerback too to pair with Christian Benford. Since they lost Rasul Douglas.
I think that he's going to be their cornerback one.
Maxwell Hairston, man. Fast cornerback coming to the
I
division.
think he's going to be their cornerback one. What does
I think
Tre'Davious
Benford
White
cornerback
even
one.
have in the tank anymore?
Nothing. I'm
Is he
surprised they didn't
gonna-
go Will Johnson, though.
Like, I could see them would it be any type of value putting him at safety? Because at this point, I don't think he really has anything much left in the tank. If the Ravens were able to just like not even entertain bringing him back.
Tre'Davious White last season, he produced nothing in Baltimore and Rams.
And the fact that it's Baltimore, that's concerning to me. So like, because Baltimore just like they just played really well on defense. Yep. Luther Burden.
Wait, Colby, did you change the trades with like the Eagles and the Chiefs yet?
Oh shit! Yeah, I got.
I don't. The trade package came out.
Yes, Kansas City's giving away pick 31, and Philadelphia's giving away picks 32 and 164.
Wow.
So
164.
is that a fifth
That's
or a
fifth.
sixth?
It's a fifth.
Anthony, really?
That's too rich for me.
Here it is with the 31st pick within the 2025 NFL Draft.
Dude,
The
like green.
Philadelphia
Right.
Eagles select
Green.
Jihad Campbell.
Wow. Jihad Campbell.
Jihad Campbell.
I'm
Wow.
surprised they didn't go.
I don't
edge
hate that either. I don't hate that either.
because they lost
their
Ross
biggest
Black.
weakness was linebacker.
They literally couldn't have gone wrong with either one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Wow.
Like,
That team can do whatever they want.
yeah, even though they lost Brandon Graham retired,
That
Josh West
defense
Cardinals.
is disgusting, bro.
they still have Bryce Huff.
By the way, interesting story. So Richie, like I said, who I do the AFC East Roundtable with, our Jets creator, and one of the founders of Roundtable Sports. So he's at the NFL draft helping to cover it, and he's at the
Know where it's coming from.
he's at the what's it called? He's at the hotel the night before, first night there, and all the prospects start walking in, right? And someone just comes up to him and he goes, "Dude, big fan of the AFC East Roundtable. Like, I'm a Patriots fan and whatnot." And Richie goes, "Oh, like, who you here with?" And he was either a friend or a relative of Jihad Campbell. So interesting fact there.
Ooh,
Interesting
okay.
fact there.
Interesting fact here: the Chiefs are gonna go chalk and draft Josh Simmons here.
They got to go Josh Simmons. Unless they go Mike.
Unless they go Ariante Ursery. If they want that day one starter, they got to go Ursery. Simmons has the potential to be one of the best tackles in this class. The problem is that he has potential character concerns from what's been reported, and he's coming off of a very big injury that poses a lot of questions and concern for offensive linemen. So I could see a world in which, I mean, if they don't want to take that flyer in the first round, they go Ariante Ursery.
I mean, they did this a couple years back, right? And with that Hawaiian kid, that was supposed to be really special at tackle.
Yeah, he was ambidextrous. I remember who you're talking about.
They still have him
Kingsley
on the
Simmons,
roster. Yeah, that guy. So I wonder how they view him right now.
Maybe.
By the way, big shout out to MMD for another big donation here. Says, "Me too. When I see defensive line, I was like, okay, made sense." So yeah, when he said that last part, that's what they thought it was running back. So defensive line does make sense for the Lions. And then comes back in with
Yeah.
another donation and says, "Totally agree. Philly and Kansas City didn't see that trade.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
No.
traded a fifth though. Like I feel like that's too rich.
I mean, yeah. I mean, also like the Super Bowl just happened, and the Philly just like wiped the floor with them. So like, you feel like Kansas City would have just hung up that phone, being like, "All right, like F you, dude." Like no.
Wait, did they bring back Nick Bolton?
Yeah. Nick
Yes,
Bolton's
they did.
back, and
Okay, so
They also
Hutchinson's
brought
with
back
Philly
Trace
too.
for
which brings me to my next point. How much cap space does Kansas City have to be just making these silly deals that with like all these players keep on returning? It doesn't make any sense to me.
let me take a look at the cap space.
There's no interior offensive lineman I would go after here either. Maybe they go
They're
with like a Wyatt Milam.
They're projected to have 13.58 million in cap
So
space.
basically enough to pay for the draft class. Wyatt Milam, who, I mean, the kid's a stud. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe he gave up a sack last year.
Guard tackle versatility.
Yeah, and I don't believe he gave up. You basically get your Joe Thuney.
Yeah, I think this is Simmons or Ursary, though. They need that left tackle.
They just paid a left tackle.
It has to be offensive line.
But I don't.
Wait, I see all the offensive tackles, Kobe.
They could start more and just like have Josh Simmons recovering. Ariante Ursary, isn't his measurables like off the chart? Wait, 1 second. I think I had a note section for him for like his measurables were like insane.
Like, let me take a look at the combine.
Kansas
I don't
City
put
has
too
made
much
their
stock in-
selection. We're just waiting for what they did.
I wish we could like trade back up into the first round.
No. Look at how much people had to trade up. The value of people had to trade with to get into the first round. No, thank you. I know you wanted to, but based off some of the trades, no, thank you.
Bro,
well, at least we got 3 picks for tomorrow.
Bro, Donovan Ezeraku, dude. He's freaking falling today too, bro. He's freaking
right now.
Unless the Chiefs pick him up.
Dude, Donovan Ezeraku, Luther Burden, Mike Green, Will Johnson. Oh,
You know what's shocking?
dude.
Will
Oh,
Johnson
God.
was projected to be at the at 6th overall, and like he fell that deep.
I knew it. I told people Jahdae Barron was the first cornerback going off.
I thought
Where
the
the hell-
Raiders. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm trying to find this. No, I'm just talking out of hand. I was trying to find the.
I think the Patriots will have to trade up though if they want Donovan Ezeraku. I don't know if he's going to fall to 38.
Well, let's see. What do the teams need that are coming up? Cornerback. The Browns are drafting Shador Sanders at.
I could see
33.
the Raiders going edge.
What? The damn Browns have 33 and 36?
Yeah, 'cause of
Oh,
that trade.
Yeah, because of the Jaguars trade.
Oh my God. Luther Burden to the Tennessee Titans. Because the Raiders need wide receiver too.
Yeah, they have Jacoby Myers, but who else?
All right. Well, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna get Donovan Ezeraku. So I'm gonna be upset because we're not gonna get a wide receiver, but we'll get it one of the best edges in this class, or maybe a Mike Green. Hell yeah, Mike Green.
No, we need an edge because we want somebody.
Mike Green at 38. That is a steal.
Could you imagine at 32? Mike Green off the board.
Don't do that to me. They need D-line too.
Unless Mike Green is taken off by the Chiefs, which I doubt.
But Patrick Mahomes need an offensive line to look good. So.
That is another good point too.
Yeah,
left guard and
he's
left
a
tackle.
check down artist. He's a check down artist.
May I also see offensive guards, Kobe?
Do you know he leads he was like top 5 in like yards after catch? And people want to call Brady a check down artist when this guy's literally a check down merchant. And by the way, Bo Nix also a check down merchant. He's up there, and so Tua's up there too. The usual suspects are up there as check down merchants. I think Patrick Mahomes is good. I think that if he didn't have Andy Reid, I know I'm going on a damn tangent, but screw Patrick Mahomes. Where is I had a on Ariante Ursary. It was like his measurables. he was like up there with if I'm not mistaken, his measurables were like up there with like Armand Membo and like Will Campbell. I might don't quote me on that. I'm trying to. I guess I deleted it.
Jonathan, good point. Landon Jackson and Donovan Ezaraku. Oh my gosh.
We really need to pass rush help. I think we got it on the interior. I think if Christian Barmore is healthy, and with Keon White basically could be a situational interior. I mean, you could play him on the interior when he did last year. He played pretty well. So, but we really need I don't personally think that Keon White is going to be a good edge. I think we truly still need an edge. Yes. I think Mike Green, a defensive line with Mike Green, Keon White, Christian Barmore, and Milton Williams is absolutely nasty.
I agree. And the biggest reason why you let go like Dietrich Wise is because you
Philly, or not Philly, but Kansas City's really taking
the 32nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. The Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons.
Yep, there it is.
Josh Simmons. What'd I say?
And that's that.
They went with the guy with the more upside. He's not going to start for them week 1. He has some character injury concerns, but if he pans out for them, he's going to be one of the best tackles taken in this class. So they have the option to be able to win back. The Patriots didn't. And again, how many tackles now? How many tackles is that?
7.
That went in the first round. 7?
6 if you consider Donovan Jackson an offensive.
Look, I'm going to say he can play tackle, so that's 7 because
7.
He played 7. He played tackle in the college football playoff when Josh Simmons was down. You can't. So he's a tackle.
So let's look at it this way. There's only one tackle left. There is only one tackle left on the board that has upside to be a plug-in starter day 1 over at left tackle. That is why the New England Patriots at 4 get Will Campbell to solidify that offensive line. For everybody saying, oh, round 2, round 3, you can't because offensive line is fly off the board.
Well, Colby was right. I was wrong. Ariante Ursery was the only one left there. And to be honest with you, based off what the trades that we've seen today and how asinine they were, going to go get an Ariante Ursery, which some of his tape, it kind of scares me. We would have had to trade the farm in a rebuild, and I don't know. So yeah, you're right, man. We got our left tackle, and Adam Schefter, pretty freaking close. He was one off. 7 tackles.
One off, man. He was one off. I mean, how many offensive linemen, period, though, went in the first round? Whether it's guard, whether it's tackle, it was a good amount, right? So again, that's how valuable offensive linemen are. That's why you take your guy at 4, because they make a massive difference and they're very hard to come by. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for the day 1 watch party, round 1 watch party of the annual Patriots Global NFL Draft watch party. As always, guys, appreciate you so much for kicking it with us, enjoying the last 3.5 hours of round 1. Really appreciate all 700 of you, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, that kicked it with us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow the rest of the social medias on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure to follow on Twitter and come on over to YouTube at Patriots Global, because if you're on Twitter, you only get notified when I go live. You don't get notified when I post a short, a regular video, a community post. So come join the family over on YouTube at Patriots Global. Link in my Twitter bio if you are watching on Twitter. We do have another video to make tonight to break down Will Campbell, our reactions, what he brings to the New England Patriots, and we will also have individual videos coming out over the next 2 days for every selection that the New England Patriots make. So subscribe, turn on that bell notification so that you get notified when those videos come out. Want to give a big shout out again to all the Patreon members that came on, enjoyed it with us here today. Really enjoyed this. This is my favorite time of the year. Leave a big like on the way out. But of course, as always, we appreciate you guys so much for watching. And most importantly, go Pats.
Go Pats.